Hey, and now we're live. Hey, so this is what's up, everybody who's gonna join us, rewatch this, come back and visit. As you all know, it is Thursday. Thursday means that Brandon gets to learn how to draw, and Danny gets to show me up with his timing and skills in coloring faster than I can. But
Skills are strong words. I still can't draw a hand.
Yo, sausages and circles, man.
straight
There you
up,
go.
straight up. And that's what we have Doug here for. We have a special guest, Doug Knight, Cross-Eyed Comics. He has a Kickstarter going with lesser-known comics. It's
Brandon,
doing
sorry
phenomenal.
to interrupt. I hope you didn't just put a D in cross-eye.
No, Cross-Eye. I just don't know.
Okay.
That's
Sorry,
just-
everybody. Continue.
Well, actually, and so this is wild. All right. For the show, I'm going to clear this up real fast. Just in case. It's just kind of hilarious. Today, we all do the spinner wheel thing. The spinner wheel does not lie. It is how we navigate week to week. And, I post that up. And coincidentally, Doug is like a miraculous, amazing, astonishing human being. Kind of like the guy we're about to draw today, Daredevil. But Doug, tell us about you. Give us your story. What makes Doug Knight so special? Tell us about the Kickstarter. How does this all tie into comic books?
Yeah, well, I mean, the me being legally blind thing, just off the top, was funny enough. Also, chemical barrels on the side of the road, which that's why I lost my vision. But actually, it was a brain tumor. Hit when I was 6. It's sitting on my pituitary gland and wrapped around my optic chiasm. So that's where your optic nerves intersect with each other, and it switches the signal from your right eye to your left brain, and vice versa. So I grew up doing a whole bunch of drawing, and always loved cartoons and comics, and was kind of always at an arm's distance from being able to read them comfortably or at all. I jumped out of high school and went into the tattoo industry because it was more accessible than kind of doing the art school and pursuing comic books. But once I got the opportunity to jump into creating my own comics, I quickly kind of found out that this is a community that I think I can, assimilate into as well as flourish in. And, I kind of started writing my book, Chiasm, for fun, to see what I could do about my own life story. I was never like planted in the sand and like make it a beacon for all others with exceptional needs to flock to. But I'm kind of stoked that that's slowly what it's becoming. I had this like wacky challenge where I thought that because a monthly book was monthly, it meant that one idiot had to create everything from pencil sketch to final lettering by himself. So when we were going through the dark years, and my son was doing online schooling, I was right beside him, kind of crushing as many pages as I could a day and having fun with that. So the cool part about me going to Kickstarter with issue 0 of Chiasm is that I have 9 completed issues, on my iPad, and I can take the time now to start refining and kind of composing them into like trade paperbacks and big old graphic novels and stuff.
Damn, that is wild. Straight up, just from nothing, you have created a whole little universe. Tell us about your book. Where did this idea come from? Where did all this like originate?
So Chiasm is a sci-fi retelling of my life as a childhood cancer survivor. You swap out chemotherapy with an alien molecule. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like I kind of have lived an extraordinary life as a legally blind artist, cancer survivor. All the everybody's got their tiny violins out right now, but I've been able to take all the experiences and stories that I've accumulated and kind of start really planting little tiny idea seeds and growing big old epic oak trees out of them. And I think that because I've lived my life with so much humor and can-do attitude, it's translating in kind of the punk rock spirit of my book, and really just like it's something where I've already got expanses into alternate universes where we meet like Desmond Phillips, who never had cancer, so you kind of see what that life would be like. I've got like the other thing where The adult version of Chiasm has to like give up one of his molecules, and so he gets like taken over by one of the identities that his armor embodies. So I've got like this infinite like I guess like library of potential stories that I'm excited to tell. And I think that's kind of where it all starts. And the more that I develop my character and I can develop other characters, it gives me kind of potential to develop like spin-offs and different tales from other perspectives in my universe.
Damn, that sounds awesome. I can't
That
wait
is
to see
really
more
cool.
of this. Where did you why are we starting with a 0 issue? I'm curious
Because
on your approach to 0.
because I did issue 1 back in 2019. It was like, it was really cool to see it printed, but it's also one of those things that like everybody that kind of got behind me and bought one of my first issues that have it are lucky they have it, because I'm never going to show anybody else.
Nice.
So the story from issue 0 was like a kind of 3-page cutscene or a 5-page cutscene in the first issue, and then I fleshed out to like a 14-page like funny anecdote that introduces you to kind of the like extremes that I'm willing to push the human body in my book. And from the 14 pages I also added like a couple funny like advertisements from my universe, and like a few pages from another one of my projects that's going to be like an all ages thing that I want to get into children's hospitals, as well as like I think it's like a 5-page biography about who Doug Knight is. Like, I'm calling it my big handshake to the comic books community.
Hell yeah, that's dope. So it looks like you have a lot of work planned for us in the future. This isn't just like a one and done Doug Knight thing. This is going to be going on. We're going to hear about you for a while.
Doug Knight.
Yes.
yeah, that's
Knightiverse.
Yeah. I still haven't
Yes.
come up with a funny. I guess I don't want to call it the crossverse, because I feel like that might set an unfair precedent for what people are expecting.
Release the Knightiverse.
The Knighterverse. So like that's the thing. Like I've got a ton of things. I've got some things that like I'm willing to let go and work on with like many other people. But then I've also got like my project Chiasm, which is like, it's so straight up from my experience that until maybe I were to get somebody who is like equally as dedicated to telling really cool stories that lived similar experiences as me, who wanted to write a story from their perspective that we could fold into the universe or something like that, that would be like a long-term or somewhere down the line kind of deal. But I don't know. I'm just I hope to like kind of like a down note is like the human eyeball starts to deteriorate naturally around 45, and I'm like a solid decade and change away from there. But like at that point I'm gonna have to like start slowing down or retiring from tattooing, because I don't want to work behind any more of a disability than I already contend with. So I'm hoping that by getting a head start with my comic book grind, I can kind of smoothly transition from one comfy desk job to another comfy desk job.
Fuck yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Hell yeah, because it sounds like you're building a whole like almost like a publishing company at this point. You know what I mean? You have so much going on.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna be super hyped to see this grow and evolve and see your artwork grow and evolve. That a big thing that caught my eye about it was that punk rock feel. It's cool that you brought that up. That aesthetic is really like appealing to me. Hi T'Challa, what's up, G? I can't say hi right now. What influences did you have growing up?
I mean, I think that like once you dive into my book, you're gonna see a lot of like 90s image kind of stuff. I was pretty well versed in like the hyper graphic nature of Spawn as a child. So that's obviously like something that like imprinted on me at an early age. Like the really like dynamic Spider-Man from back in the day always got me. Stories like from the X-Men or whatever, but like I could never, I relied so heavily on like the visual hand holding of the comic books medium that reading was never a high priority. So like, which sucks, because when people tell me how sick Grant Morrison's work is, and how deep Alan Moore dives and stuff like, of course I'd love to like dive in and read that stuff. But as a child, I didn't have access to it. The Sandman audiobook was super sick because I feel like I got to experience that whole audio format play of it before getting to like watch the show or look at the books. So that was a really cool experience. Same with like the all the like the Marvels podcasts and stuff like that. Those are really fun to listen to.
I gotta check those out. I've listened to the Sandman one. I'm a big Sandman fanboy, and yeah, that audiobook is beautiful, man. It has to be one of the best quality audiobooks ever.
But it wouldn't be anything without the writing being as good as it was, right?
Yeah. Neil's work is just Neil's amazing. He was a fucking
and so kind of like an offshoot from whatever we're about to touch on next was like the other day I was thinking about like, you know, the whole like what's a writer without a comic book artist, right? And it's like there's a lot of people out there that like if you were to just say, okay, nobody wants to work with you, make your story happen regardless, like their storytelling kind of wouldn't hold dirt, you know. But then like if you pick up like one of Neil Gaiman's books, like they're all good. Like his just straight up writing is still so good because it like paints the visual like that you're craving from him as well.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's a great thing. I mean, fucking love Sandman, dude. Like so much. Hey, Frank, Coffee and Comics just jumped on. Greetings, sir.
Shout out to Coffee and the Comics.
Yeah, he's a great guy. You know what, guys? Go fucking get 15% off your order. Go listen to our episodes. I owe you probably entertainment, Frank, because I haven't put up a new Apollo in a bit. But dude, yeah, Neil's books and Neil's works, no matter what it is, from Miracle Man to, you know, I'm reading The Ocean at the End of the Lane right now. That's a wonderful story.
Is that the one about the kid in the fairy circle?
No, that's a different one.
What am I thinking?
I don't know which one that one is, but that sounds familiar.
How far are you in your book?
I'm like 2 chapters in, so you could be fucking right, actually. Not gonna lie.
What's I think I read that one. I don't know. It's yeah, go ahead.
Memories were waiting at the edge of things, beckoning to me. I actually have it signed too, which is pretty dope. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it in like a week. Give me a week, and then I'm gonna be like, dude, it was right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I do like 2 or 3 audiobooks a month, so it's like
nice. Oh yeah,
they blur together for me.
I think that the comic book industry has really fallen behind on audiobooks for, you know, at least for trades and whatnot. And yeah, that's great that Neil Gaiman's book has that accompanying it to really open it up to a wider audience.
Totally. Yep. What a good observation. One of the cool like I got invited to participate in a haptic reading application by the Wichita State University in Florida State. It's called Visling. Wow. And so what it is it's like this. So they're uploading everything, textbooks and like novels and stuff like that. But for comic books, they're using my issue 0 as a template to do guided reading. But with your, like, if you have your finger on the screen and you drag it to it guides you along the story path. And so they'll have voiceovers for all the speech bubbles. Pardon me. And then they've also got like free roam mode where if you tap and hold something on the screen, a voice will tell you what you're hovering over. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited to see like what that develops.
That's actually really cool.
That is super. Oh, Danny, your webcam flipped over. That's super awesome, man. It's cool hearing an artist, like, especially in the indie retrospective, that's just hustling so hard. And that's the biggest thing about like being a creator and trying to come up with your own work when you're not part of like some publisher or whatnot. You know, we have oh, Haley, what up? Shout out to Source Point podcast. We just talked.
Hi, Haley.
Hello, Haley.
She actually said Wichita State University. No way, that's my alma mater. What's up, guys? Hello. Alma mater. I don't know why I said matter. Where was I going with that? Yeah, the grind behind being like a creator and the timeline and the way things can come out and the work that can get done. I mean, you know, working with lesser known comics I've learned so much on how that publishing aspect works and how
totally
you know, like it's there's so much behind making a book, you know, almost behind any creative expanse. If you're doing a short film, you know, honestly, I feel like making a short film is easier than making a comic book to an extent.
Except for you have unlimited budget with a comic book.
Yeah. You need the right artist. I mean, that's the thing too. Like,
Yeah.
have you tried working with other writers? Have you ever tried other stories?
Yeah, I'm actually a few opportunities have come up that I don't want to speak about openly yet, but
Nice.
I do believe that somewhere in that lesser known universe, you might see me on a page with some other incredible human beings in the nearest future.
Nice.
So that's gonna be really cool. And then yeah, I'm not a narcissist by any sense of the mean. So like as soon as the opportunity comes for like more people to want to utilize my specific set of skills, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, I mean that's
do you mind real quick, because I want to get drawing sick Daredevil. I got in the mail today my batch 4 from Old Lesser Known, since we're talking about it.
Yeah, spit that up.
Can I run through it real quick so I can get to sketching?
Please do.
Cool. Okay, so I open it up, and Mark, the sweetheart that he is, wrote me this incredible, beautiful, fast handwriting, but I'm not going to show you because it's for me, and maybe he swore, maybe he said sweet things to me. I don't know. But what else we got? We got this incredible print. I think it's postcard size. We got Tank McGregor.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
By the infinitely cool Ray Garza. I got some sketch covers. I don't know what Mark thinks I'm going to do with this, but whoa, Tank McGregor sketch cover. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. Let's see. Okay, so we got some more Tank McGregor. I got this whole little this whole bag of stuff here that I got to dive into real quick. Yo, but like Mark went all out on his packaging. Oh, this is the graphic novel of Tank. This is what I've been waiting for. Woo!
Ooh, boy. It's such a nice printing of that book too, man.
Oh, look, I think Ray got my memo because I can actually read all the font in this book.
Hell yeah.
You're my boy, Ray. And what else we got? We got some booking marks. He sure goes out of his way to treat the people right in these boxes. I got to take notes. The Art and World Eater is still like they killed it.
Oh, man. I love
stickers, postcards, juicy booty on that one. I think I actually already have this one from one of the first backs, but yeah. It is. I had to hide it because I didn't want my wife walking past it. This one's cool. I gave that one to my kid for one of his bookmarks. Actually, my son steals all of my bookmarks, so I have to do like a quick censorship before he grabs them. But he's a lucky little reader.
That is too cool. Yeah, LKC is one of like the best like indie publishers coming about. They're doing a lot of good stuff for creators and have a lot of really good formats coming out right now too. The quality behind it, fucking amazing, man. I like that.
Yeah, man. Well, and Mark's good about letting you know what he expects. Like he's not a wiener at all, and he's totally straight up. Like he builds compliment sandwiches in a good way until there's nothing left to say, and then he'll just like kind of rip the Band-Aid off, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a good point. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you didn't say that spitefully. That's a good point. So that's pretty cool. Oh, right? This was a really cool one too. Good Night. Good Night was a sick guided story with no words. That was a good one. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Mark.
Great seeing some of these.
Thank you, everybody else, for your incredibly amazing contributions to the indie comic world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Lesser Known is man, they got some cool artists in there. The Death Wish Kieran, that guy's freaking amazing too. Yes, too fucking badass.
Oh, look dope. At this. What do we have here? I got a chiasm sketch cover. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah. Time to. So you actually, part of the rewards are people are able. I mean, you have 9 days left on this Kickstarter for one.
Yes.
And you have done a great job, and you've gone 200% over your goal, and 200 plus, and there's still rewards to be unlocked, things to do, and there's still cool things for people to get. But they could get a sketch covered by you, correct?
Yes.
As a reward. That
is a thing.
And let me just run by the rewards real fast. I would love to kind of go over this. Bam. I already pledged, so I don't know if I could just see the rewards. Oh, here we go. Support. $15 or more. You get the physical print plus a print. Man, you get an 8x10 art print and a digital copy of Chasm, and a digital, physical, and a print for $15. That's super sick. Let's see, $2 or more, digital copy. $8 or more, you get the paperback. 20 or more, gold badge signed and numbered, and that's only out of 40 exclusive gold badge editions of Chasm Zero. And you get the digital with that too. For $38, a physical copy and a sketch cover. That's the one I wanted us to talk about. I mean, dude, you doing a sketch cover for people, how sick is that going to be? How many have you done? And are you working on one right now in that case?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I guess I'll make this one an exclusive available one once it's all said and done. I've done two. I got one commission from an art show, and then the other one was commissioned at the first con that I worked a couple weeks ago.
Nice. How's that different? Like, how do you approach a sketch cover differently than like just a print?
I don't know, man. I guess I'm just ignorant enough to not really approach it any differently. Like, I'm gonna do a pencil sketch on this, and I'm gonna brush it or marker it, or kind of make whatever happen. I think I'm still learning that thing where it's like people kind of like seeing the underdrawings and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna be a little loosey goosey with it, but I don't know.
Do you ever get nervous when people ask you to draw something like on the spot at a table at your con?
Not really. I mean, it's like, so when the dude commissioned me for the last one, I was like, just give me like 20 minutes, man. Go for a walk, show your kids some more stuff, and then come back and I'll see if I got something cool for you.
Nice. So how did you even start? Tell me your drawing story, like your whole journey between that. Like how do you go, like where did you start? Was it always just comics that was in mind? Was there anything else? What else has piqued your interest in the art world?
Well, I guess like the hospital, kind of the joke that I keep coming back to is I sat too close to the TV. So when I was sitting in like the room with all the other kids and they're playing Super Nintendo, they'd be yelling at me to sit the hell down because I was blocking the screen, right? So I went to the art room and I started gravitating towards this cool kid that could like replicate any of the cartoons of the time, right? So like Biker Mice from Mars and like all these cool things that like would get my attention regardless. So I kind of realized that like there's quiet there, you can sit there and you can have fun and you can shoot the breeze and make cool things come to life, and it's an escape, right? And then when I realized that there's people making fabulous amounts of money doing it as a kid, I look at my doctors thinking like, you guys chose the wrong profession. As they like prescribe me life-saving medication and all that jazz. But I don't know, man. So like in school, they used to try to sit me ridiculously close to the board, as if that was going to help me see what they were blabbing to me about. That was to no avail. So I would draw. I would look as close as I am now. I'm actually trying not to look as close because I don't want to take up too much of the screen with my 5 head. But I would just draw through class and just pass the time that way. And then so as I got to the what's that?
It just became your thing at that point.
Yeah, totally. And so like through high school, like I got to the end of high school and I was like I did like the art school show or like art school tours in the greater Toronto area. And I kind of realized that like even if it's art school, the idea of like furthering my education in a field that like I can kind of already tap into was both frustrating and like staggeringly intimidating. So I started tattooing because that seemed easier.
Oh fuck! Fucking wild.
No, I got really interested into the tattoo industry when I started seeing like, that some people were getting my artwork strapped to them for the rest of their life, like buddies and family members and stuff. Um, so I kind of like I started working counter staff at a shop that was local to me at the point. And when I kind of got ballsy enough to want to pursue tattooing myself, it took me obviously a little while to figure out a spot that I'd be comfortable enough to learn under extraordinary circumstances from people that weren't just trying to take advantage of me or my talent. And then when I finally found that spot, it became the place where I did some of my most formative learning. So obviously, like tattooing as an art form is like super appealing to me. Because there's like, especially since like I've been in the industry, the rules have changed so dramatically as far as like what's cool and like who's doing what and what's like on board with like what people are cool seeing, and everything's kind of always changing and the technology is still evolving. Like when I started tattooing, like it was still pretty much the old doorbell motor, right? Like the conventional electric machines that like
exactly.
scream and weasel. But now they all look like vape pens because they're all these upright rotary motors, and like even
Dude, that
still
shit
now
tripped
they're
me
like,
out on my
what's
last
that?
tattoo. That shit tripped me out on my last tattoo, dude, because I'm
Yeah,
used to the old rotary, the foot pedal and shit, and then he just like took out like a vape pen, and I was like, "Are we gonna smoke or what the fuck is this?"
yeah,
Like, and he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, it's a new thing, man."
Don't wave that thing at me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guys, I
right.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, guys, I know exactly what you're talking about. I got like 5 tattoos across my ribs and my back and everything. You can't even see my back. There's so many
Danny,
tattoos.
Danny doesn't know a lot about tattoos, is what he's trying to say.
I don't have any
Um,
tattoos.
So
when did you get
basically,
your first tattoo? Oh, maybe in here. Oh, when did you get your first tattoo?
who, me?
You, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Danny still. Sorry, man.
No,
I
no,
don't have
Danny
any
doesn't have any.
tattoos.
Danny straight up
I
doesn't
was
have
just
any tattoos.
bullshitting. I don't have any tattoos.
Oh, you made liars of us all.
I
Um,
did.
I,
I do
I
that.
got so at 16, my dad and I kind of quickly realized that that age where all my friends were getting their licenses and stuff was coming upon me. Um, and me being legally blind, that was never going to be an option. Um, but like my doctors encouraged my parents to normalize me to like all of life's potential good experiences and stuff. So I went for my license anyways. No, I'm kidding. My dad
You're like, I fucking did it. Like,
my dad took me to get my first tattoo at 16, and
that's sick.
it was from a dude that had tattooed some of my artwork on my dad already. So like my dad was like my dad's always going to be my ultimate hype man, right?
Yeah.
Well, my dad and my wife, but like my dad, like especially because he'll fight somebody for me. Like he's like he's
Oh, yeah.
my ultimate go-to ride or die homeboy. Um, but so we used to like get tattooed, and like it was whoever made the first shitty face would have to go buy coffee for everybody, you know.
Oh, fuck, dude. I'd fucking quit right away. Fucking every time.
Um, but yeah, so 16 was the first one, and then quickly proceeded like I went to Catholic school, so I'd sit there like greasing up my arm in front of everybody, like no big deal, just my tattoo, Um, um, yeah, so it was that was it, man. 16, and then it just kind of kept spreading, as they say. Um, and I'm not horribly like covered or anything. I've got one of my arms is all wrapped up, the other one's perpetually in progress. I've got so I've got a good anecdote. One day I walked into the shop where I was apprenticing, and like normally my routine was like go set up, like scrub tubes, make sure everybody had their coffee, start my cleaning rounds, do all the like expectations of the apprenticeship, and then I could start drawing and working on like tattooing grapefruits and like all the other kind of wacky stuff that they'd make you do. So this day I walked in, And right out the bat, the manager stopped me and she goes, "Dougie." Like, "Yeah, man." She's like, "You talked to Ben yet?" I was like, "You just watched me walk through the door. Like, you know that I haven't spoken to Ben yet." "Okay, well, he wants to talk to you." And like, when you're the lowest man on the totem pole, when someone wants to talk to you, even if it's like a group of punk rockers and skaters and artsy fartsy people, it's like you feel like you're in trouble, because especially for me being the blind guy, like I was always terrified that like I screwed up a scrub or like something, right? And you wouldn't
Yeah.
know until the next day when like someone would have like a list or a strong talking to you. So I'm like, "No, man, I haven't talked to Ben yet." She's like, "You got to go talk to Ben." I said, "Okay, cool, let me go set up." So I go downstairs, I start my scrub, um, and the owners had their office downstairs in the basement, and they go, "Dougie." I'm like, "Hey guys," they're like, "Have you spoken to Ben yet?" I'm like, "No, I will make it my next priority. I understand they want to talk to me. Must be serious. Like, I'll be up there like as soon as I can." So like, "You got to go talk to him." I said, I get it. Everybody keeps saying go talk to him. I'm gonna go talk to him. So where Ben was 2 floors up where I was at that point. So I start walking up the stairs. And another dude had just finished a tattoo. He's like, "Hey man, you talked to Ben yet?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, no, I haven't spoken to Ben yet. I'm on my way. Like, if he's
Very
that mad,
clocked in.
come find me." So like at that point, I'm like, I'm fed up, right? I'm like, whatever. This is what it is. So I get upstairs and Ben's tattooing like this girl who's like clearly well off and very like expectant of her time being like 100% on her and all that kind of stuff, right? And like
Yeah.
he looks up and he like basically throws his machine aside and like, "Hey man," I'm like, "Hey, I heard you want to talk to me." He's like, "Can I put Doug Life on you?" And I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "Like Doug Life, but Doug Life." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, man, but like, where would you put such a tattoo?" And he's just like, "I don't know, man, like across your gut or maybe your knuckles or something sick,
Your gut,
right?"
yeah. What a place to choose. Yeah, somewhere fun.
Yeah, and so I'm
Somewhere
just
where
like,
everybody's gonna see it if you take your shirt off.
"Oh, buddy." So like,
Painful.
I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like I was like a big dude because of like lifting and stuff at that point, but I was never like, you know, I've never been like McConaughey thin.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me think about it. Let me try to shed some pounds and then I'll get back to you. So over the next couple months, Ben started a shop across the city. And I continued about my business until one day I walked into a room and another buddy of mine, Evan, is just like, "Yo, dude, you gonna rock that tattoo by Ben, or like what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Maybe like, I got this stomach." He's like, "Man, you're more than likely always going to be a little fat." He's like, "Wouldn't you rather be a little fat with a sick tattoo than, always wonder like, what if?" And so I was like, "You know what, man, that's a good point." So I reached out to Ben and I was like, "Hey man, do you remember that tattoo you want to do?" He's like, "I will book you in like next week." So like, sure enough, he did. Um, and then so I got Doug Life as a big old gut rocker.
Hell yeah. You want to
Nice.
represent that real fast? Can we get a glimpse?
No, man.
No.
For,
You're just like,
that's a special con drop.
yeah. Where do you live? Where are they going to
I'm
live?
about 45 minutes north of Toronto, Ontario.
Oh shit, you're Canadian.
You're Canuck.
That's
Yeah,
cool. I'm working with
buddy.
a Canadian artist right now. That's super rad that you're also Canadian. All the
Yeah.
Canadian people are great that I've interacted with so far. All 4 of them.
This ink is not nice. I'm going to use markers, guys.
Do it. So, I mean, you're probably gonna end up like, Danny and I suck, or I suck essentially. Like Danny's above me, but different type.
Thank you, Brandon, for just throwing that out there. Yeah, just deciding that
We
for me.
spend like 3 hours doing a drawing, and we hang out for like Thursday.
I know you're already on to inking. Jeez, I thought I was
know.
fast.
I just did a face.
Yeah, but you know what? I draw so that I can understand my shit. When I have to start drawing for other people, I'm gonna have to like tighten up my my business a little bit for fine folks.
So, is he too buff for Daredevil on mine?
Dude, Daredevil's so acrobatic, man. Like you need him to be ripped. Like
Okay,
I
so
hope he's drawn like
here's the
him,
thing.
Nightwing, Spider-Man, kind of like skinnier. You know?
Listen, man. I think like until someone's paying you big money to draw it how he needs to be, draw it how you want to see him. You know?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
needs to
Like
be thinner then.
you guys, are you guys familiar with Esquivo or Gabriel? I forget his last name. He's incredible. He's a beautiful artist. He gets like, I guess he gets flack for like making Spider-Man 2 buff all the time and stuff. And like, I don't know. I just don't understand why people have to be so crusty. Like,
Dude, I feel you on that. Like,
I get that, yeah.
we've gotten hate on our channel in general, like doing these episodes, like where people just talk trash about our drawings when it's just like, dude, first off, like one of us doesn't know how to draw and the other one actually is really good. And it's like one of those things.
oh, you got upgraded, man.
Thank you. I like the
Yeah,
rebound there, Brandon.
I had to make sure I pointed that out for you.
I need to make sure that you come back next week, Danny. But I mean, it's one of those things. It's like when people talk trash about it, it's just like, art is one, it's fucking hard. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of discipline to even sit down here and do this and make something out of it. But like two, it's like you do it and then or like give me some pointers, like
I love I think that's one of the most powerful things is when you put somebody on the spot and proffer the device to them, right? Like, okay, do it. Like you're just telling me that you're just generally a negative person. Okay, well that's cool too. We can talk about like whatever sore feelings you have about life, but like don't just decide to poop on the fact that I'm having fun and you're not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's a big part of it is like we're just here to have fun with each other and we're just here to hang, and that's why we spend 3 hours like making a single half-finished drawing, like, and it's art. Why does art have to be rushed in that sense? Like, why does all this stuff have to be? I guess people want instant everything because of the way the world works now.
Well, there's an app that will turn you into a comic book real quick. So, we've got the deck stacked against us.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, it's disappointing. People forget like the essence of it and just having fun and hanging out with your friends. I mean, Danny's in close to San Francisco, California, Northern California, and I'm in Virginia, and you're in Canada. And we're all drawing together.
Pretty spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah. And actually, it's funny. I mean, like, we were just discussing, we don't like actually drink on the show, which is kind of hilarious.
I just drank today. I had a Baileys and coffee.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I can count on one hand how much alcohol I've had in my entire life. And Baileys was the first drink I ever tried. And it was again when my dad, captain of my team, was cracked into one when he was drinking. And I was like, "Can I try that?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, but it's not like I got like towed up on it or anything. And there's I've had a glass of red wine, and like I'm a big party. I think I had like a cooler at one of my older sister's birthday parties one year. So I'm a real party animal, fellas.
I mean, that's good. It's nothing like too great about it, to be honest. It's rare that I have actual alcohol now, but I typically microdose during these episodes just for the fun of it. But that's like a mental healing thing I find at that
point. I so before, like in Canada, weed's like it's been on the board for a solid couple years now. But prior to that, I used to have buddies that would like try to not like peer pressure me into it, but like in a joking way, right? And it'd be like, "Hey Douglas, I heard that weed's good for your eyes." I'm like, unless it's gonna cure blind, I'm not jumping in, man.
That's what I don't get about stuff like that. Like when it starts becoming questionable, like, oh, you don't drink, but why? But you don't smoke weed, but why? It's like, it's fucking because, dude. Like,
so like I used to get it all. I was drugless, thugless, Douglas. One day,
dude, you make these T-shirts, dude. We need all.
Oh man, I've got all these funny con T-shirts that I'm gonna get in on. That are just like poking fun at being legally blind. Like one of them's going to be like, I'm sure you're important. I still can't see you.
That's
I have another
amazing.
shirt that I wear. It just says identify yourself, but it's all like minor threat style.
Hell
So it's
yeah.
like, you know, got another one that I've put up on Redbubble, and it says seeing eye friend, and it's like white, red, and white. So it looks like a cane.
Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah.
It's for fun.
I can't wait to see all these things you come out with. I just love hearing like that like ambition behind it. You know what I mean? Like so many people are missing that, I feel like, or just forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Ask
kids
me what I
these
did
days
today.
are so lazy. What did you do today?
I installed a toilet and a vanity.
oh wow.
Very nice.
Well, so do you have a day job? What's your day job? What do you, if you don't mind me asking?
I said that I've got 3 full-time jobs, man. So between tattooing, making comics, and building houses.
Oh, wow, you are a handy man. You make like any because of like what you do and who you are, and because of like the quality of everything you have and what you do. It's just like guys, like just fucking get out there and go fucking make shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, man.
there's literally no fucking excuse other than just like laziness or just that lack of
There's a
desire.
few
AKA,
excuses, but there's more ways around the excuses that you have than there are reasons not to do it, right?
Right,
AKA
right.
being a bitch. That's what we're telling you right now.
Your words,
You
not
know,
mine. I try to preach a little bit more of a, stay positive.
it's and I mean it's hard to find and people lose it all the time, but like you need to learn how to like, or maybe it's not, you know, you got to realize how important it is for you, you know, you got to realize
Yes.
the great outcome that comes out of creating something and, you know, seeing it fulfilled. And it's just accepting that it's going to take a while, and sometimes it takes longer than you could ever imagine for so many circumstances, but it's so worth it in the end.
Totes my
um I
goats.
mean, for you, for me, for like being a creator, like for Danny, it's one of those things. You know, we've had a lot of attempts of projects that didn't fall through or things that started, but you just kind of, just with everything in life, you fall down, you get back up, and you're like, all right, well, let's keep on pushing on. And
Yeah. What did we learn?
right, yeah, it's a freaking the armature of this episode this time. I mean, do you look at Frank from Coffee and a Comic? This dude was slanging comics as like a digital Instagram like retail store practically, and he built his way up to getting his own brick and mortar within like 2 years, less than 2 years, I think, maybe almost 2 years.
I
It just
think I
goes,
reached out to him mid the dark years, and because I am an avid coffee drinker, and so it's on my list of places that I want to um, do a signing and chill at one day.
that would be awesome. I'm sure he would love that. And he's connected with Lesser Known and everything. He knows about them. I've talked to him about them too. Um, I think he's just a good guy. You know what I mean? He's just like a pleasant dude to be around. He has a great military background, and he's super into Punisher comics, and just freaking doing cool stuff all the time. Plus, he has that sick
Uh,
beard. It's a nice beard.
I do. I've got. I call him the Afro Viking. Um, I've got like 2 big Afro puffs that are split directly down the center and that curl out when they're untamed. Um, I
Sick.
my, my kids. I always say that like Fred Van Fleet from the Raptors stole my beard.
That's awesome. I totally forgot what I was gonna actually ask you next. But dude, so what comics were you into when you were growing up?
Um, I would for sure like Spawn. Obviously, like my story's always going to come back to that. Um, I, so like I got an issue of this
What
book
what what,
called Captain
what
Canuck
era of
when I was a kid.
Spawn were you into? Actually, my bad. What era of
Like the
Spawn?
first with like the first 60 issues kind of thing, like that first like the early 90s, like but the thing is like I never tracked story, right? Like I got the artwork, but I never read anything. So it's like, I feel like I'm missing out on all these things that like I should know, but I don't.
You're not. As a big Spawn fan, you're not. Just do it for the art.
Yeah, those image guys learn real quickly that it takes more than just being a good artist. You got to know how to write.
Shit, I hope
good
I learned that
comics.
before you guys formed that opinion.
Nah. I've seen some preview stuff of Chasm before.
Whoa, you got to harden up that CH, man.
I do. I'm so sorry. I'm like trying to focus. Shazam.
Chiasm.
Chiasm. I'm gonna call it Shazam because I don't know how to pronounce things.
No, see, but what you're doing is
so where did
demonstrating.
Chiasm come from? Where did that name come from?
So my brain tumor is sitting. It's latched onto my optic chiasm. I kind of explained earlier that's where the signal switches over. So it's funny because it's like people who know what it is, they instantly kind of like get like a wry chuckle to it, haha, very clever. And then everybody else just argue over it. So it's kind of perfect.
Okay, that's
It's
cool.
a
I'm gonna
win-win
love to see how
situation.
other people pronounce it like in the future. And if
I can't wait to be like at a con and like hear people just like getting ready to punch each other out over it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I'm gonna say it different every single time, but
Chasm. Somebody said the other day, they're like, is it not chasm? I'm like, oh, I misspelt it.
that's hilarious. That's awesome. Oh man, I realized I was like, why does this hand look so bulky? This wrist, but it was really because I didn't give him like a wrist. I just put like a block on a thing.
Cool Doug fact is I can read visually and by touch Braille.
How hard is it to learn how to read Braille?
Not as hard as it is to learn how to speak any other language.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like it's a weird combo of like math, quick thinking, and just understanding that these are words. I keep wanting to go down past the waist, but we said half portrait, so I'm playing by the rules here.
I know Danny never plays by the rules.
I know I'm terrible. I'm playing by the rules today.
Actually, this is what I got so far, just to show some evidence. Let's get in there.
Wait, let me go to your screen. I'm selfishly looking at my screen to make sure that my head's not in the way. Hey, you got it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Brandon. Like every week, your drawings are getting way better.
Oh, thank you.
That's like what you got, Danny.
Oh,
you've got the screen share. I got to figure out you got two cameras going.
I do.
Yeah. So what we do is we hook up our phones as a camera, and we mute ourselves, and they're connected to some Bluetooth headphones. It's a whole setup. It's really annoying, and sometimes it wigs out on us. But
smart.
I didn't want to have all 5 screens up, and not then your artwork looks smaller. I'm going to showcase you.
Here, I'll flip mine around for the folks at home.
Oh man!
Oh, I'm jealous. Look at that hand. I'm so jealous of that hand.
Hey, so give us some art tips. That's what we're really here for.
Okay.
Yes.
So step 1, draw. Okay. And then step 2 is draw more. And then step 3 is keep drawing. But don't do it because you feel like you have to. Draw because you actually love drawing. I don't know, man. I just I work rough until it starts to refine itself, right? As far as arting goes, if you're not having fun doing it, then go have a nap,
Yeah. It's like anything, instruments and all that type of stuff, like any sort of big hobby, writing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta kind of have that fire. It's like love. It's like sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every single time, it's just you gotta you gotta just have fun with it, fucking shit, dude. People, I think, don't be scared, I think that's the biggest part too. People freeze up a lot. Sorry, we do it live.
Yeah, I think he's hitting on us.
No, this is getting weird. Doug, you want to go do our own live stream sometime?
Nah, I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it.
Do Brandon, yeah.
Let me live up on Doug a little bit,
It's a brave new world.
Yeah, you're right. It's 2022.
But that's why we do it live. It's to get rid of that fear aspect, and we're just if we're gonna suck in front of everybody.
Nice follow up there.
That's
why
where it
we
was
do
all
this-
leading to. That's
That's
where it
why
was.
we
That was
do this
my.
live, so we get rid of that fear aspect, right, guys?
That's why I was talking about sex. You know what I mean?
Anybody? You guys with me? Huh?
Right?
Bueller.
Chala, dude, what's up? What's going on? I'm also trying to be more playful with this drawing because I know we get real stiff and like I want to have more of a cartoony vibe for it, kind of.
Gnarly.
I'm trying to just mix up like how I mean this is what my 7th drawing. What episode is this? 7? Yeah. Let me get this banner going.
Yeah, when you landed on Daredevil, I texted you instantly. Are you kidding me?
Dude,
You
I
messing with
know.
me?
It was like, and I was like this morning when you had messaged me about it, saying like, "Have you posted it yet?" And I was like, "No, not yet," because I suck. And I was in such a hurry. It wasn't until you told me that my brain put those two things together, and I was just like, "That is freaking insane, hilarious, and awesome, and just like too funny." That's why I typically have like a song playing in the background to show that like it's like this is just one like back-to-back thing. I only have 20 seconds on the reel, and I was just laughing so hard at that, dude.
One of my like my career goals is to actually do like Daredevil cover work or like anything in Daredevil. Because I want to be the blind drawing the blind.
Are you a Daredevil fan yourself? Is a character that has like, did you like find like some attachment? I'm kind of a little bit curious about that since that's what like superheroes are kind of for, in that sense, to like give.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! Like I think you know, as a kid, it's like somebody sees the blind guy at the skate park, like, oh, you're like Daredevil, and you're like, sure, I guess so. You want to see me jump and have no depth perception? But like, you know, as a kid, you know, it's anything that you can latch onto, really, right? Like, oh, this guy just kind of kills it, so I guess if he can do it, I can do it. No, Doug, don't go that fast, but I'm gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say so for sure. Interestingly, too, because I'm mixed. You know, my dad's black, my mom's white. I never had like full kind of a feeling of like being fully serviced through any like character that I was aware of, right? And so, or represented, not serviced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like with Daredevil, it's kind of like more like he had everything, right? Like he was blind. Like that's a real easy like thing to latch to, you know. Like even like Deadpool and like the cancer thing never really like I heard about it as a kid, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like that appealing to me to like kind of jump into. So yeah, for sure Daredevil was something that I could hitch my horse to.
That's awesome. That's super cool. It's cool hearing that like that.
What is cool is seeing how people draw blind people or like blind interactions. You know, like it's funny being critical about like, you know, it wasn't real. Like it was always just kind of like him like being there, and people just knew that he was blind because he couldn't, like, he had his eyes covered up or whatever, right? But like it wasn't until like a little bit later that like they started tilting his head at preposterous angles and like make him look like he was like really searching like for the environment around him and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool evolution of inclusionary kind of artwork.
That's interesting. That's I was kind of curious about that, like because I really love how Charlie Cox portrays like a blind person, but then I
He's
watched like
top
Ben
notch.
Affleck's version.
Yeah,
and it's just horrendous.
Like
It's
the
just-
fucking what version?
you got to give him credit though. He didn't have a lot of people ahead of him.
True. Yeah, for sure. But I love that suit. I do love that Affleck suit. I won't lie.
You
think
like
that's
the
a dope-
Ben Affleck?
I do.
Daredevil
I like
suit?
the red, like the tight leather BDSM like outfit he has going on in that movie, dude. Like
I can't with that suit. The mask is just too silly. It's just silly.
it really is. But I love it. Actually, like the yellow suit Daredevil is my favorite, not gonna lie.
You're gonna get some yellow suit Daredevil.
Yeah, super hyped about that. Are you big on like the Marvel TV shows and things like that? Like,
I'm a
you keep up
content
with that?
consumer, man. I do my that's like there's so many incredible like podcasts and stuff out there that like oh my god, man. Like if I had the time to like just consume everything all at the same time, like if I could like audiobook, podcast, watch a show, draw, and create like other things all simultaneously, I would be that person. I would be the Octodug. So yeah, I love all that stuff. And I also have the benefit of like having procreated with my amazing wife. So we have like I have that perfect excuse to like, watch Lightyear 30 times in a row. Um, yeah, I love it all, man. It's also fun too, where it's like, Dad, can I watch that? No, I have to watch it first. Like being the responsible one and like screen testing things and stuff. And it's like, oh, how come Tyson can't watch Let There Be Carnage? He says the F word, dear. you know?
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
can see that.
but
That's super cool.
yeah, no, I think that's one of my favorite things about parenting is like, it's cool too because it's like I've got these children that aside from being, we call my younger one Wreck-It Ronnie because he is, oh Jesus, he would give a Sherman tank a run for its money. But like my kids are healthy, and one of my sons is like past the point where I was diagnosed, and so that whole year of his life, I was even if he had like tired eyes, I'd look and be like, "You okay, man? You okay? You okay?" Just because like something inside me was just like, is it hereditary? Is it anything like that, right?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
So once I kind of cleared that, I was like, okay, we can go back to being fun and reckless,
Yeah,
But yeah, I love
I
the.
can see that
I
as a
haven't.
parent. That's stressful as hell, I'm sure, dude.
Yeah, man. I haven't. I don't know. Did She-Hulk drop yet?
I think it came out. What today's Thursday? Today's Thursday. Yeah, yeah,
So
it
it
did
dropped
come out.
yesterday.
I think it dropped today. Then I don't know how that works.
No.
I just end up getting to it on the weekend, no matter what. I'll see
Right.
everybody post about it.
I,
But
I
I'm curious
avoid
about
like
it.
I'm pretty good at avoiding spoilers and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm at on that one. I'm sure it's gonna be great. They're sweetening the pot with like the bonus characters, right? Now they're getting a little bit more easygoing about just throwing everybody into everything. But like Daredevil's a tough act to follow because that show was incredible, man.
Dude, so damn good. It has to be. It's my top, Marvel show in general. I'm not a fan of everything they put out. I kind of just watched them all in one sitting, like really depressed, like over the holidays, and
Yeah,
I just like did not vibe. And I thought they were all like almost good. You know what I mean? But I feel like they
yeah,
all felt rushed, and the writing and all that, the quality kind of drops because of that.
yeah.
I feel like
I felt like they're
WandaVision.
giving a lot of people a shot.
Yeah. I do like what you're saying, getting She-Hulk as a character, like opening up the cast a bit more, giving you something a bit different. But there's also so much pushback on that. Like, I don't mind them doing that. Just give us a good story and we're solid. But like,
Yeah,
I don't get why that's the issue. Like, oh, why are they doing She-Hulk out of all people? It's just like,
Why are they doing a
so
woman? That's what so many of those comments are.
Hey Dan, thanks for joining.
Oh, you're welcome.
my issue, and this is like my biggest like thing. Like, come at me, internet. Is that like as fantastic as the actor looks and the CGI and stuff is, like you're telling me like there wasn't another female actor who's got like an incredible like thick physique that mirrors the She-Hulk of the 90s, like
dude,
um
right? Let's get some CrossFit girls up in here.
like that. Well, no, but not even CrossFit. Like I'm talking like rugby players, you know what I mean? Like
Oh
there's
yeah, yeah.
like like this She-Hulk is built for speed, not for power, and I get that there's like it's one of those like, okay, you do it, but like I think that if you go through so much care to like cast really good daredevils and like create like give Marky Boy like a chance to play fun Hulk and stuff like that, like you know you can you're Disney, you can afford to like search for the one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I could totally see where you're going with that. I agree. I think I would love to see that rather than just like overworked and oversaturated CGI. And that's what draws me out of a lot of those Marvel shows, to be honest, is the amount of CGI we're getting in it. Like Moon Knight, dude, like they could have made that fucking suit and it could have been the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, they've really gotten worse with the CGI, and it's really taken me out of the movies and everything. It's because they rush everything too much.
Here's the other thing that I think is cool though, and it's not to like, you know, change everybody's perspective or sail, you know, change the direction of the ship that we're sailing, but like,
um, it's cool for job creation. You know what I mean? Like I think about the fact that like
all of this CGI is like an office building of people that are sacrificing their sanity by, you know, animating the same explosion, the same blink, or the same like set of leaves rustling or being blown away by like a sonic clap and stuff. Like it's like somebody's got a job doing that, you know, like
Yeah.
somebody is creating, you know, these things for us. So it's kind of like, you know, how dare you be like not cool with what you're getting, because this is somebody that's like making more money than you are doing art, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally get what you mean on that too. I think it's. I've heard so many of the reports about how they get treated and that stuff. Where I'm just like, Marvel, like give them a break, man. Like let them breathe.
Yeah,
Let them breathe a little bit.
let them hide a couple dicks in there. Come on.
Yeah, right. But man, and you know what's really, this has probably been the hardest episode to do so far because like drawing and talking takes some goddamn skill too. Dear God, not gonna lie, a lot of concentration. going
shut
on
up. Me and Dan will continue the conversation.
Exactly. As I continue to say nothing.
there.
Hey, so do you know?
Yours
So
is looking so sick though, dude. I'm looking at your cover, like that's one of the dopest things.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. There's things that'll look better as I do more. But thank you. I appreciate it.
What's your mindset when you go into drawing? How's your what do you kind of think and what do you take on? Is there a certain like ritual you kind of have, or you just kind of sit down and it's like, well, this is my job and this is what I'm gonna do. This is
Yeah, I think it's just like I just want to do something cool. I think I like to observe like the movement of the page. Like, let me take this to show everybody who wants to back my Kickstarter, the content inside. I like really like dynamic storytelling and like different perspectives. And like, I think about if I could control 5 cameras, what would I do with them? Obviously I got to get my automatopoeia in there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think about like making sure that there's movement. Like even when it's something serious, I still want there to be like the eyes traveling around the page in a certain way, right? This is kind of my funny thing I pointed out yesterday, maybe yesterday, the day before, is that big apple eyeball booty thing that I have going on there. It's like
awesome.
you know, everything else was like real like close to PG. And I was like, I'm just sneaking like a little booty looking apple in there just to see what it does for folks.
That's
yeah. So check it out. This is these are all the issues that I've done so far.
Wow, dude, the coloring on those is too fucking cool.
Yeah,
so
those
that
are
was
sick,
digital with an acrylic brush, which was cool. And then so see that guy there, that's actually one of my MRIs. And then so where that like lightning mass is, that's where my tumor is, but it's on the underside of my brain. So I was looking top down at my skull, where the tumor is and how it is in adjacency to like the eyeballs and stuff.
Damn, that is fucking cool.
But here's a fun side by each of Desmond Phillips and Doug Knight.
Damn, that's awesome. I just love that style, that grittiness. I could feel that 90s comics vibe completely through it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
definitely.
But as far as like what I want to achieve, I want it to be easy to see, obviously. I think that like I work with the assumption that everybody can see all my flaws.
And so when I am doing something, I kind of overcompensate some of the aspects of it so that I hope that they don't, call me out on being a fraud or something, basically. And a lot of that is like tattooing as a
Do you
blind
feel like you
person,
have
kinda,
like
right?
do you feel like you have some like imposter syndrome in what you do?
Um,
I get in tattooing, I still feel like an imposter.
Comic books is like a much easier shoe to wear because I don't have like somebody walking around with my work on them for the next 30, 40 years.
Mhm.
And because I'm so busy and I don't get as much time to tattoo now, every time I go back, I'm like, you guys still cool with me? We still good? Everybody still likes me, you know?
Yeah.
And like I still talk to all my buddies and stuff, but it's like it's like calling yourself dad the first time. It's such a weird shoe to put on. Um, like I remember having like this long eyeball with my son. He was an infant, be like, you can call me dad. you know
Yeah.
so it's weird to like get to that point where you're comfortable with what and who you are. So once those clouds go away, then it's all good. I think working a convention was really cool. Working a convention, like having people take pictures, like buy my shit, and
kind of get behind me like that. That was really cool. Um, I think the more money that I make in comics, the more fun it'll be for me to be like, yeah, that's what I am. Um,
Hmm.
and breaking free of like that, I have to work for one of the big bads or whatever to do it. Um, is kind of cool too, like embracing indie. But
Yeah,
that's not to
I've
say
kind of
that if someone comes at me with a big fat contract, I'm not going to be like, "Whoo, down payment on a house, okay."
yeah,
You
right,
know,
yeah.
um,
But I think that's the
the
whole thing, embracing the indie, dude. That's a whole different mindset for sure. I've had to really change my perspective on how I wanted to approach art and how I create and what I create because I'm like, it's not supposed to be on this level, it's supposed to be on this level. And I'm doing
yeah,
kind of okay in that sense, you know?
totally. Yeah, don't beat yourself up on anything, right? So like, this is kind of a cool segue for like my first official poop talking as a professional. Um, the Yesterday when I was doing my round to the comic book shops in my area, I started at one, and the person to whom I dealt with was just so negative, man.
they're like telling me how like my decision to print and everything was like,
Was not the right way to do it, and how like he kept diminishing. Like he's like, so you're going print on demand. That's what you're doing, right? You're print on demand. I know who you deal with. They do okay work, but like
the way that he was just shit talking like the dude that I put my trust and my money into really bothered me. And then like on top of that, it was other things. And like at some point I stopped and I was like, hey man, how many mouths are you feeding? Like he was like late 40s, early 50s or so. And he's like, oh,
well, my partner and I, we have a house together, but we don't have kids. I just thought to myself, like, so
And you don't
like
know.
you're telling me to live this like purist lifestyle and stuff, but like you don't understand that I'm working 3 jobs as well as paying for my books to get printed ahead of my Kickstarter's completion, just so I can like walk around to people like you and share my experience and have something tangible so you can see that I'm not a fraud, you know? And I'm not saying that people that don't have their books printed before the Kickstarters are frauds. I'm just saying that like I had a
No,
different
yeah,
mindset. Like I want people to know that like as grateful as I am for them to back me, it's not going to stop me from completing my objective.
Um,
exactly. I know
and
exactly what you're talking about there.
And so this dude was like, he's like, well, I'd be hard pressed to not stock a project from an indie creator that's less than 200 pages that you can see from, across the room. And at the same moment, there was another gentleman that was in their shop.
Gentlemen, or like whatever they prefer to be called. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not
Yeah,
whatevering.
yeah.
And I was just like, I kind of jabbed my finger in the direction of their head. And I was like, how is this guy going to go drop $25-$30 on a book that I put out if they don't trust me, know who I am, or know what like my reputation is in the industry? I said it's a big ask for somebody to batch print, spend
$3,000 on a batch of like 300 or 500 books or whatever the number would be, and then just assume that average Steve is going to go to
a crusty comic book shop and buy it from me, I said, your perspective is twisted, man. You need to have a good relationship with people. The reason why some people achieve success and other people look like you, I didn't say this to him, but I was thinking it, is because you've limited yourself to being such a negative Nancy,
Yeah.
My God, he was shit talking con artists that do corporate superheroes, and I won't do that. I'll make people let me do my own character. And I'm thinking you don't sound punk rock. You sound like a dickhead, I'm in a comic book shop.
The people that
most of his bills are.
Oh my bad.
Go ahead.
but that's the right aspect of it. People who say that you're not punk rock are probably the people that are well, you're not fucking punk rock because you don't think I'm punk rock. It's about what you're doing. It's the DIY aspect of it. It's the being yourself and being creative and not fucking listening to these assholes like him and considering their thoughts. It's just you're yourself and you're fucking unique. And who cares if they fucking love you or not? But because you love it so much, nothing's going to stop you. That's punk rock. Your entire mindset and approach is punk rock. But these guys that spew that type of stupid hate, just what are you producing? What are you doing?
Also, we swap books.
Where's your comic? Okay.
I'm not going to shit talk. I'm not going to shit talk his book. But what I will say is that I had to stop my friend from reading it because it was dripping in misplaced cultural pride from a very well-represented sect of society. It's not Black, Latin, Asian, or anything else. You know what I'm saying? It was the rants of a crusty old white guy.
I was about to say, are you talking about white people?
I'm talking about my other half. Yes, that is true. The patronage ruined or whatever. They're why Main Street Newmarket is blah blah, and the opiate heads and blah blah blah, and they don't know about the secret society of blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, this is borderline hate manifesto, and his artwork,
this culture war
beautiful.
stuff.
His artwork was top notch. The inking was really cool, really technical, really old school. But again, boring, man. I look at a page, I'm like, this guy spent so many hours on this, and it's so nice. If he was just a little bit more personable, he could have an opportunity, and as the course of my journeys would continue, it kind of sucked that his reputation is already across the vendors in the area where everybody's just we've heard nothing but unfortunate things about that cat. And it's man, why alienate yourself in such an inclusive industry?
Yeah.
So big question, guys. Am I going to give this Daredevil stubble, or is he going to be clean face?
Oh, stubble.
He's got to have stubble.
Yeah, you got to give him stubble, man. For sure.
He's going to have stubble, guys.
Hey, are we about to talk about the Bat Dick?
Oh, dude, I'm always down to talk about Bat Dick.
Are you talking about the what's his name, Lee
Bermejo?
Yeah, Lee Bermejo.
I'm impressed that they went there, man.
I mean,
dude, it's funny.
Comics
Jim
have
Lee
a history of being edgy just for the sake of being edgy. So there you go.
Well, Dan DiDio, he was on an interview recently talking about the new Frank Miller stuff, and he was saying that when he saw the pencils for that issue, he didn't notice the Bat Dick, and it wasn't until the coloring was done that's when it was prominent, and then there was oh crap, we approved this, but nobody realized that there was Bat Dick in there because of the way the pencils were done. And I just think that's a.
Can you imagine if it was just a miscommunication in the penciler though? He just he accented something just a little off, and the color guy just went ape shit for it.
It's a fucking dick.
He's oh hell! He's I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
He's Lee, we're really making this. I bought
Like,
that.
like if
for
Capullo drew
my
the bat
friend.
dick, you know, there would have been like a full cock ring and stuff on it, right? Like,
You know, Frank Miller would have just done the whole thing without any censoring because that's how much he loves Batman.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it would have been like a block. It would have been
I-
like a brick.
I gave it to my friend Sam for Christmas one year, like a CGC copy, or not a CGC copy, but I got him like the first printing of Bat Dick, and I was like, dude, this is the issue you need to own, and that's how you know you're best friends with someone. They give you Bat Dick for Christmas.
they give you bat dick. One of my like my favorite things that I owned for years was the issue 4 of Spawn that got banned across so many countries because it had the little kids' fingers pinned to the to the board and stuff like that. Like,
Oh yeah,
I remember like as a young teen, I was like, man, that guy, that's dark, but it's like, you know, in the 90s, like it was kind of crazy when like there was this real hush where kids started like bad things happening to kids. And like, you know, I remember like the clear point when my parents stopped letting like me and my sisters go out by ourselves. You know, we still did it anyways because well, yeah, but like in, you know, it was crazy. Just like, I remember there was this time where we would go ride our bikes to like public pools and stuff and like be out all day long. And like, then all of a sudden, like this fear set in around, you know, everywhere. And it was just like, no, you can't go out by yourself. Like, it's really crazy. And now we like live in this world where it's, you know, my son's 7 and he's got a friend who lives, you know, 300. Okay, let's say, so I'm gonna say 300 meters, but I guess for you guys it's whatever, a couple hundred feet.
yeah.
And
Wow,
like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, we're American over here. We use the imperial system. We declare war on countries that use the metric system. Thank you very much.
hey, my school system screwed me up because in the early 90s they taught us metric and imperial to the point where I get confused
on which one's metric and which one's imperial because we learn them
Oh, fuck, I
simultaneously. So when we were doing like centimeters, we were doing inches at the same time. So like it's all a blur to my brain.
Oh my god, that would just destroy me.
There's this show on Netflix, and it's called F is for Family. It's created by the comedian Bill Burr, and there's this part in this episode where his kid is like asking for help on his homework, and he says, "Dad, he goes, I need help on my homework. We're learning the metric system." And the dad goes, "You're learning the metric system? We declare war on countries that use the metric system."
I only learned the metric system in high school because it was the only way I could buy like drugs and communicate.
They didn't even bother teaching us.
that was my experience with the metric system. That was about it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna try shading this Daredevil. I haven't messed with shading at all, or like a shaded income, you know, character before. So this will be.
Yeah, I got lazy,
so
I just did the yellow costume.
Fuck yeah, you did the yellow costume. I can't wait to see that. I love
back in the day.
The yellow costume.
I had the privilege of going to Todd McFarlane's house for one of my cancer wish things. And when you know, I was like, I asked the question like, any advice? And, you know, he's just like, when in doubt, black it out. And, like,
that's awesome. That is awesome.
And so I got that, and then I realized that like there's also this power that you can get a white marker, then you can go back over your black. Whoo! That's when you're like in the magic zone, man.
Oh, you get that white out going? Yes.
That's what I really want to get, a white marker for stuff like that, because I think it would really elevate a lot of things. My tattoo artist does that with a lot of my tattoos, and I was just like, the white fucking makes this pop so amazing.
This is the one I use to like do highlights and everything on
using Tosca?
Presto Jumbo correction pen. It's just a whiteout pen that I use.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got the Poscas off of Amazon for a pretty Canadian penny. Actually, I don't have penny more, so
that's awesome. It's the most useless fucking currency ever. I don't know why we still fucking mess with that shit.
What currency?
The penny.
Oh yeah.
It cost more to make here than it did than it was worth, so it became obsolete.
That's smart. I wish we did that more in America.
But we also have toonies and loonies, so $1 and $2 coins. So like if you got a pocket full of float, it's like 30 pounds of change.
Oh wow! Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's not a woe was me thing. Like I love it, but
I would love to visit Canada, man. Like I'm so interested in that. Oh hey, so this is my Daredevil. This was hard.
Here, okay, let me go to your screen.
There we go. This is my. Need to color in the D a little bit more, but you guys get the idea.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's really good. That hand's great.
Giant. It's kind of small though, huh? Is this hand like?
It's pretty small. Yeah, you're
his
short. It looks like it's about 8 feet behind him.
Yeah,
Right?
you really got to beef up the. You just got to beef
Alright.
up that one hand and arm, and then like it'd be good.
All right, cool.
All you gotta do is use your lasso tool to
Right,
select
yeah.
it and then zoom it in, and then
Yeah.
copy and paste. Does that work? No, it doesn't work.
I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna just literally cut and then enlarge.
Do you, Doug? Do you ever like when you're drawing like traditionally, just say, "Oh, I'll just like fix it right now," and then like realize you're not working on the computer?
I went through like that thing where I was working so predominantly digitally for so long that like the first couple times going back to it, I did it. And like every time you'd like go to pinch and zoom to get closer, like, no, idiot, you can't do that here. But it's good. Like,
I'll show you the glasses that I wear to tattoo. And they're kind of like it's when I'm closest to being a cyborg.
That was awesome.
I'm unboxing them. I don't break them because they're all. I also have a gigantic head, so I've had to like fasten them with tape. But yeah, so check this out.
Oh wow,
Cool.
that is cool as shit.
Yeah, so when you like have them on, it's my prescription with the magnifiers there. But like it like takes you to this like microcosm where you're like so zoomed in on like what you're working on that if you take your eyes or like if your peripheral catches anything, you want to vomit because it's like a bubble pops in your like your brain.
My God.
And so I say when I tattoo for like 3-4 hours, it's like I go home and like my kids can't even talk to me because I'm a zombie. Like it's like deadlifting with your optic nerves.
Holy shit, that's insane.
But it's worth it to be able to work safely, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's fucking cool though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking buff up the that arm was fucking hard to do. I did a real small hand. You're right. I gotta.
I'm gonna eat my nectarine. Have you guys
Hey
ever
man,
had
but what you can do is because you have all that the shadow like front loaded on his features, you can do like a blackout hand, just go right over top of it, and then you can have fun playing with the silhouette of it.
There you go.
Shabba.
I already erased it, which is unfortunate. But you know what? If I did it once, I can do it again. You know.
Hell yeah, man. Yep. You know what another good practice is don't use an eraser.
Oh, really? Oh, damn.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then you start relying, like, then you learn how to sketch with like your hand weight as a tool of being able to eliminate stuff with. Like, if you just do something light on the first pass,
you know,
darken it until you're happy with it, and then commit to it. Like once, it's kind of like once the train's out of the station, you're in on it, right?
Yeah, I actually, this is kind of funny you say that because this is one of the first times I didn't do super light pencils. And I'm kind of known for just doing super. Everyone's always getting after me on the stream because they can't really see my drawing at first because my pencils are just so damn light. But say I didn't do that.
You just went for it.
Just went for it. Just wanted to raw dog it.
Is fuck it Wolfgang still a thing? It was a thing in like the mid 2000s for me.
Fuck it, Wolfgang.
I think it was Tyler the Creator used to do it or something.
Oh wow. I never vibed Tyler all that much when I was growing
But
up.
this was when he had like it was like a artsy fartsy thing, wasn't it? Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm not like
I like one of my cousin's kids got oh, I always screw this up too. And one day I'm gonna meet him and he's gonna be like, "Why you disrespecting me?" Oh, that's looking good. It's looking real sharp.
Hell yeah, Danny.
Sweet. I like
Thank
that
you.
stubble.
Thank you. It brings it all together.
It adds the gruff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the hell's his name? Not Joyner Lucas. He did like cereal boxes and shoes, and he's like all over the places being like. Anyways, I saw it and I was just like, man, why are you perpetuating that?
he's like, it's sick. I'm like, is it?
How's that hand proportion looking?
Way better.
Hold on a second.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Way better.
Yeah.
It is. I still say that like if you really wanted to like take the belt off and go running around the streets, you could go a little bigger with it.
Okay.
But like I'm talking like Marta, like from a human point, that's great.
But like Kirby levels where it's just like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I might do that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool,
I mean,
cool.
the only thing
I
that
like
you can
found
do
a
is
way to do it.
you're gonna learn.
Yeah, that's what's been so interesting about doing this every week, man. It's just like every week I'm just like something else clicks, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
like,
I could just draw like an outline of a bigger hand over this one to make it bigger. Huh?
well, you see how, and you can do that to explore. So see how I've just got like the line weight is way heavier on the big hand, and it's like it's tapering off, and then you got like I'm gonna get to the little hand back there. You know, once you can start utilizing all the tools and figuring out like what you can do, then you can have a hand that's the same size or bigger than the head. I remember I saw a drawing of Magneto when I was a kid, and like because Magneto's always got like the fingers, like I'm magnetizing things, right? And I remember like I studied that image for like, you know, not longer than I should have, but like I remember like
Being very much like enticed by the fact that like they made that hand look so good and not weird at all.
I could see what you mean there. Hell yeah. Yeah, it is a mighty hand. Man, this is interesting. I'm about to do something fucking wild right now. So, Doug, how much do you want for that sketch cover?
I don't know, man. What's it priced on my Kickstarter?
It's $38.
There you go.
All right, I might send you $38 after this.
Woo,
If you
boy.
want to claim it. That shit's dope, man. That is awesome. And then you're like our first guest we've ever. This is a new segment on Apollo too. This isn't our typical. Even Brandon and I interview very differently than how we're talking and discussing right now. It's a different. You know, it's a classier vibe. It's not so loose, I guess. You know what I mean, or spaced out. You know, conversation wise.
I so badly had it corked in my mind that like the first time I talked to like both Brandon, I was gonna be like, is one of you spelled with an A and one of you spelled with an E?
Actually, no. That's how similar we are. That's how fucking on point Brandon and I are. We're just fucking the exact same. In so many, we both have Star Wars tattoos. We both like love Blink-182, and we were actually both bass players for like punk bands before devoting ourselves to writing. And then we were both standing in line for Talking Parlay for 3 hours.
Yeah, for a $70 autograph.
If you signed up for a fucking credit card, so I guess like a $70 autograph.
That's brilliant
how you got
marketing.
The poster. It really is. Dude.
That's so smart, man.
Is. Like, I mean, it got me to do it. But I have like a history of knowing how to like fudge those applications for working for a retail company.
I just brain farted. I had something funny, but it probably wasn't. I always say if it didn't last that long, it wasn't good enough to say in the first place.
Right. All right. Wait. Hey, check out this hand now. Wait. Let me see if I could switch this over.
Checking out hand. Yeah, buddy. Now I would suggest if you fatten up the first like sausages of each finger, just a little bit, like
Mhm.
or so. So you've got. I'm using my mouse like you can see me like an idiot. Okay, so you if you sculpt some of the lines just around like select spots on the fingertips and like the
Yeah.
knuckles, you'll see that it'll pull it just a little bit farther forward. You don't have to go crazy with it, but just
A second little zh over top of them, and you might be happy with your results.
Okay, cool. I see. I on top of them to get that like thicker appearance, right? Okay.
Yeah, man.
And what do you, Doug? What do you think of mine? Just like before I move on to the background, because I pick my pencils apart all the time.
that's it.
I need the
Zoom in on the screen
professionals.
there. I can only
Oh, I'm so
zoom
sorry.
much.
Let me. My bad. There you go. Apologies.
You're a selfish host.
I'm just like I'm working on my shit now. Like trying to do a
I
thumb.
think that is.
You're just like, no, Danny, no.
Are you? What's your intention for finishing it? Like,
I
is
just
that?
want-
Are you like?
His legs are just. I'm not even gonna finish the legs below the thing here, but
Torso man or half bust.
yeah. And then I was just gonna just draw some buildings and like the moon and everything in the background.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Where's your light direction?
Okay. This way. So I was gonna do cross hatching on the yellow to do the shadow since it's a lighter color, and then just do this black with some red highlights.
Sick. Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm excited to see you tighten it up. That's the thing too. It's like everybody's got a different style, right? So it's like, if like how he, I'm not that it's shitting on anything, but like how do you like pick somebody's stuff apart? It's like you don't know what the true representation of what they're going for is, right? Like I think it's
That's a big
fantastic.
thing. People freak out, especially with comic book art, and they don't. That's where people don't understand the indie scene in a sense, where it's just like, no, this isn't supposed to look like Jim Lee. Like it's not. Like,
Yeah.
It's
until I'm
it's
getting paid to
only-
draw Jim Lee's backgrounds.
Yeah,
Oh, look
for
at you!
reals,
Look at
right?
you go with that window.
Did you guys see Frank Miller's like Fantastic Four #1 thing?
Yeah, dude, I want that thing, dude. It's so ridiculous. I
not.
love it.
I might have. Yeah, it's like one of those things. I was just like, why did Marvel do that?
Because
What
it could,
happened?
man. Because it's gonna sell. Hey, it's like a giant the thing, and he has a big old. I mean, he has a bulge because he's the thing. You know what I mean? But it's like the perfectly rounded. That's where my eyes went right away. Was his bulge?
I mean, I know
Okay.
that's
Like,
where you. That's
You're looking for that thing.
yeah, exactly. Like if I'm gonna just see someone draw the thing, I want to see how they're gonna highlight his thing. You know.
Yeah,
and
I
it was
get
really
it.
well represented. You know. So.
Yeah, that's the kind of representation we're talking about. Comics.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Frank Miller's an absolute delight to meet.
He is. Well, he was super nice to me like the first time, but I think if you catch him, I feel like anyone like on a weird day, he's just like, I'm so sick of all these fucking convention people. Like he gets so tired.
Yeah.
However, my ex got a fucking sketch from him, an Electra head sketch, but he was like all over her too. He was all creepy and old man about it. But I was like, yo, you got a fucking Electra head sketch, so win.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have one of my things with like my low vision is my coping mechanism. They're on a
What's
delay
that?
because I process everything, right? And so like if somebody that I'm supposed to know or whatever walks up to me in public and it's like, there's supposed to be like that moment, right? We're like, oh, like that shit doesn't happen with me. So like I have this general like behavior of acting like I've been there before. So it's like I think it serves me pretty good because someone that's supposed to be recognizable can come and go, and like I'm not going to kick myself if I didn't recognize who they are, right?
Yeah.
And that's why like my I guess like building of who I am in the industry is just to like let people know like it's okay to come say hi to this great big gorilla, like that I can't see you, but like I'll still take the time. I want to be like Todd McFarlane with my art, but I want to be like Bob McFarlane with how I treat people. Like
Nice. Yeah.
I want people to like have to feel like they're bugging me at a certain point when they realize that like their coffee's cold. Like
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I spent 2 hours at the McFarlane Toys booth talking to Bob McFarlane after like I'd met Todd at his place or whatever as a kid. And like Bob was like, "Oh, I'll give him a text now and see what he's up to." Like I'm here with your friend. You remember the little Dougie, right? Like it was kind of a
that's
cool
awesome.
experience.
That's fucking sick, dude.
That is
And Todd's
cool.
he's a nice guy in general. I've met
He
Tom
is, man.
on numerous occasions. Even when like I first went up to him when I was like in a press junket and he was just doing phone calls and doing business. And I was like, "Hey Todd, I just want to say hi," like blah blah blah. And then he was just like, "Hey, good to meet you." And I was like, I hate to be bugging you. Like I know you're clearly working, but I don't know if I'll ever get to like have this moment again. And he was like, "No, of course. Like good to meet you. Good luck and everything." And I was like, "Oh fuck, you're so nice. I just interrupted the shit out of your day because I'm an obnoxious fan." And you were just like, "The fucking greatest."
Yeah. Okay, who's the comic book artist or creator that you guys would be terrified to approach at a booth?
Nobody. Because if they're going to be
Really?
crusted to me, they're not worth my time.
Good point.
Truth.
Somebody that like I'm super. So there's two dudes that I can't wait to cross paths with. One of which is Doug Mankey.
Oh yeah, he seems like a great guy. I would love to meet him too. It's a great choice.
And just like I just love that I love that he's a big boy. I like that he lifts and like he's like
yeah, me too. I love that shit.
Yeah.
pretty hard for that.
I'm a big
And Capullo,
head
like
now, and I admire it.
those are the dudes that like
Capullo
I just
lifts
feel
too,
like-
doesn't he?
Yeah, hell
yeah,
yeah.
he does. But no
Yeah,
shade
so
on Capullo.
That's what's
He's no Mankey.
Oh yeah, no, Mankey posts like it's every other post is either powerlifting or
Lobo.
or Lobo.
Yeah.
He also, I think he illustrated one of the illustrators on like my favorite Superman comic books. Let me see if that's.
Yeah, I love those guys, and I'm kind of a gym head, so I love seeing like comic book artists being on to it. Scott Snyder was just doing some like boxing training and shit and posted about it. And I thought that was fucking sick.
I have a gym, but amidst my 19 jobs and everything, it's fucking. I always tell my mom, I'm like, I want to hit the gym, but like I don't want to be selfish with my time because I really do. I covet my kids and stuff, right? Like, taking time to do like interviews and podcasts and stuff like that's part of the hustle right now, and it's like everybody's really supportive of that. But like, I'm working now so that like I can make sure that when I go to a con, I can bring my family so that they can experience whatever city I'm in and stuff, right? So I really want like my comic book career to be part and parcel with the experience that my children take out of this life.
Oh wow, Doug Mankey also did The Mask.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For Dark Horse, yeah. And he did illustrate my favorite Superman comic of all time.
Sick. So Dougie boy, I got a coffee in your future, buddy.
He's a nice guy on Instagram too, if you ever interact with him.
Yeah, I've reached out to him before I knew like the depth of his, skill set and shit. I'd reached out to him and I'm like, I like the cut of your jib, man,
Hey, so this is my shit now at the moment. I added some like background to like because I'm gonna put some fire.
Hold on a
behind
second,
it.
I'm hatching.
Oh, you're good. T'Challa's about to wig this out too. You get nothing but cat ass.
Let's see.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty hyped about it. I drew a Daredevil. I wonder if I have that notebook nearby. I don't think I do. I think you did my first Daredevil drawing I ever did. What a fun character!
You know who else is a really, really, really nice guy? Robert Marzullo. Have you guys met him before?
I haven't. No.
So, forgive my ignorance. I don't know like what if he's worked on any like projects, like big time stuff. But when I went to my first Comic-Con in Toronto, I met this dude, and he was hustling his book. The book was called Blackstone, and he's just like he was the first dude. Actually, that's not. There's a lot of people at that convention that were really excited to meet a young enthusiast and like encouraged me to keep drawing and all that stuff. But he did one of his he did the character for his book in one of my sketchbooks, just in a Sharpie drawing, right? This is like before like I ever knew that like that's something that you pay people for and shit. And I was going through my sketchbooks one day and like I turned the page and like that waft of ancient Sharpie hit my face. And it was so cool. It was so cool to see the artwork still there, amidst all the other like autographs and stuff that I had collected. And I was able to like track him down online, and he's a huge like illustration instructor online, and like he's still crushing it. But it was just really cool to like reach out to him and know that he's still like a super personable dude.
That's always the
so I'm
best.
really excited. I've got like a list of people that I want to buy coffee for, and that's he's up there.
Hell yeah, that's
Cool.
awesome. I'm gonna try inking this bitch now. Yeah, I got real fortunate, like meeting some of my favorite comic book creators on some of my first years of going to San Diego, and I met everyone from Grant Morrison to like Capullo, Snyder, all those fucking dudes, to like Donnie Cates right away, Nick Darrington, fucking just some of my favorites that were in the industry, Gerard Way, and all this shit.
Yeah, I've met Ryan Otley, and I botched that one when I met him, as longtime listeners probably know.
What was the Ryan Otley story?
I just went up to him, called him Mark Otley like 3 times in a row.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh,
I was so nervous. I was showing him my portfolio.
that's hilarious.
I will say that learning how to speak is an incredible asset. I used yesterday as my opportunity to learn how to like meet people and give them my spiel. But like what you learn is that you got to learn how to walk into someone's business with intent, without intimidating them, without sounding like an idiot, and then having to disprove the fact that you're not an idiot for the next 15 minutes. And by the third shop I went into, I got pretty good at it. But like the first one, mega idiot. The second one, I was like a big enough idiot that the guy was like, "Where's this going?" Right? Like he actually said it to me, and so I owed him. I was like, "Listen, man, you're the second shop that I've been to, and so clearly I'm still working on my intros."
My spiel. Yeah.
But and then I learned that like I would walk in and I say, "Hey, my name's Doug Knight. I created one of these here comic book thingies, and I'm out, just spreading the positivity around the comic book world today." And it turned into something where it's like by the fourth shop that I went to, the homie at Worlds Collide in Oshawa, Ontario.
Nice.
He grabbed 10 of my copies, and he's got them. It's on a consignment basis, but he gave me a spotlight on his Instagram and shouted me out all over the place, and helped grow my fan base a little bit. So like, but that has everything to do with going in and like having a clear intention and knowing how to represent yourself. So like when you go to meet somebody that you're excited to meet, you got to take that deep breath and just be like, why am I excited to meet this person? How are they going to benefit or enhance my life experience? Like, because realistically, once those like, I don't even think people are shaking hands anymore, but like once like the dead skin cells like flake off of you, like that experience is gone but for your memory, right? So it's like, what are you going to take out of there other than that cool moment?
Yeah.
So learning how to speak to people that you want to deal with, man, it's clutch. And it's like that, act like you've been here before, it's like, oh, hey man, it's nice to meet you, like, or like I saw you post that your kids got like high school stuff going on. How's that? You'll go, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like tattooing. Like when you spend so much time with somebody, you have to figure out how to talk about everything, like
Yeah.
you can talk about like punk rock and like skaters and all that stuff all you want, but if that person's not into any of that shit, then it helps to know who's doing good at the PGA, or why it's okay to invest in retail properties before you go for home ownership. Like it's you learn how to adapt and run. And if people are terrible at talking, it's kind of a good challenge to see if you can like push them to a new limit and try to shell, right? Because for whatever reason, and I always thought this was funny, it's when people like choose to get tattooed by you, and then they're really difficult to talk. It's like, well, why you
I
want to
can
hang out with me then,
imagine.
homie?
Yeah, like we're gonna be here for a few hours. Like,
Yeah.
we got to get
Or when
intimate.
you start
know,
talking to
like, I'm
somebody and find
touching
out that
you.
they're a horrible person.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that too. That's fucking a whole different. Oh, cool. That horn was fucking
Somebody
loud.
somebody was once talking to me, and I was just like, dude, I can go out for some fresh air. You can finish this conversation all by yourself.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's where I've gotten real lucky, like having interview experience and just like kind of having to force myself how to talk like on the fly and just ask questions and like inquire about people. I mean, it's kind of what I have to do with you tonight because I'm trying to draw, and that's like it's not my typical interview status skills that I would like to like give you, but it's like
Don't worry,
we just
Brandon.
need
I
to
took
kick it.
over for you with the interview portion with like my 2 questions.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
you. I got you. I got you.
Danny's like that co-host that just like Andy Richter and everything. You know what I mean? Just like,
So he's got a great gap.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Andy Richter's gap tooth is so good.
it is.
I used to get Andy Richter and Louis Anderson confused. I mean, that's an easy distinction to make
Oh yeah,
now.
yeah, but still,
But
like it's a pretty easy thing to as a kid, or just a younger person, or you don't know who they are. Because Jesus Christ.
when I was a kid, it was Pearl Jam and Nirvana. It's like the blur of like grunge music was like it was everywhere, right? So I used to really bug my older sister, like, "Oh, you're listening to Nirvana," trying to like just spark up a conversation with her. No, idiot, this is Pearl Jam.
That's funny as hell. Oh man.
Okay, so Blink. Let's talk about that for a second.
Blink,
Do you prefer pre or post Tom?
Oh, Blink without Tom isn't Blink.
What is it?
It's just like a cover band.
I
I love
man.
Matt Skiba, dude. I love Matt Skiba. I love Alkaline Trio. I am an
I
Alkaline Trio
thought-
fan.
See, like California and Nine were like, that's exactly what I always wanted from Blink.
Like I found but maybe it's because like I was going at it from like a more mature listening perspective, like being an old fart. But I I don't know, man. I took I put those CDs on, or see, Jesus Christ, I put those like playlists like on loop, because it's just like I found like it. Was that?
I said, you mean those video cassette tapes?
Yes, those VHSers.
Yeah. The Betamax.
That's before my time.
Oh yeah, no, I'm getting too old now. All right.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm digging it. I think we need color soon. Yeah, I quite like those albums. I mean, I like the Tom DeLonge stuff, but like,
I'm a Tom fanboy though. I wore like Macbeths in high school and Atticus shirts and like all that stuff. I shopped on loserkids.com and like I was there for AVA the fucking second it dropped. Like, yeah.
That was a cool project though.
Oh, fuck yeah, I love Angels and Airwaves still. I mean, their new shit's still fucking great with Ilion Rubin. He's a drummer from 9 Inch Nails, and he like fucking transformed that band.
I have not heard anything new from them. I quit after, not quit, but like I just lost interest after the second album.
Oh yeah, I partially I can understand that, like when people like aren't in tune with it, because I mean, me being a Tom fanboy, I'm gonna take it as the most amazing thing ever. But I could see how like not everyone, especially in your style of like what really interests you in that genre, can be odd in that sense. That one was very U2-esque too.
Yeah. You know what I'm learning about my interview this evening?
Huh.
Don't let my computer run Illustrator and Photoshop in the background.
Oh shit.
It's just screaming at me this whole time. Ah!
Help
You
me.
you know the MacBook scream.
Yeah, exactly. I know I've learned that doing this so many times, just I would have Photoshop and then like Final Cut or something open, and I'm like, why is stuff rendering right now? Like,
Oh yeah, I've got iMovie open too. I'm cutting my commercial tonight.
right? Yeah. I don't know, man. Tom, I love Tom. I love his guitar playing. I love Boxcar Racer. It's a huge influence on me. And he just I love Matt Skiba to death, but it's just like something about it just didn't click with me. And honestly, it's funny you say from a more mature standpoint, because I felt like the music felt more like, I mean, and this isn't to discredit your taste or any of that, like not to, I mean, at all, but it felt more middle school than ever to me, you know?
Okay.
Like it felt like they backtracked a bit, and I was just like really thrown off by it. And yeah, I mean, that's interesting hearing you say that. You know, Brandon on Apollo, he is also a fan of the Matt Skiba days. And I'm always just like, dude, I can't get myself to do it. Like I just can't. I don't know. It just doesn't
I
happen.
just can't even with it right now. Oh my god.
No, not at all. But dude, I am a huge Blink fanboy in general. Like, but I also love like that whole entire pop punk little era, Jimmy World and shit. What type of punk? What type of music like really tickles your jelly?
My my Spotify is horrendous. Um, I got like I'll go like, oh, tonight I'm gonna listen to what's Tim Lambass's new project, Born in Flames. I'll be like, I'm gonna crush some Born in Flames or Born Through Fire or whatever. Sorry, Tim. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, oh, I'm just gonna go deep dive some As I Lay Dying because it's been some time since I listened to them. And then I'll be like, oh, you know what, Steve Aoki, sure, let's listen to Steve Aoki. And then I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to let's listen to some Wu Tang and jump from Wu Tang to Johnny Cash. I don't know, like it's just like I'm like a whatever floats my boat kind of guy.
Nice.
And I think
It's
that
good to
like
hear. It's
not
good to
being
hear
able,
like you're open to shit. You know what I mean? Like that's another positive.
yeah, man. I think because so much of my childhood I spent like only listening to Slipknot, you know, and like
Yeah.
I was like, such an angry teen that like tried to like live my identity based off of you know, like what music defined me and stuff that as I kind of matured, being a loose sentence, like we loosely use term here, like I realized that like
Well,
there's so
like,
much fun to have, you know, drawing to Flow Rida and Pitbull, right? Like and that like,
yeah.
you know, sometimes when you're running, channeling some like good house music gets a little bit more out of you than like I find like if I'm listening to like August Burns Red or something while I'm running, like I'll gas out real easy because like I'm just putting all that, like I'm gonna like
Pumped. Yeah.
hate punch
Yeah.
somebody, you know.
Mhm. I feel you there, dude. That's cool. That you know, it's funny. I'm very aligned with you on all of that in that sense. Especially for like what suits like the best moment. You can't just be one kind of genre in that type of sense. And as a musician, I used to be very stagnant and like, oh, I'm just gonna listen to like proggy music and shit. You know what I mean? But then you're just like, well, then
Yeah.
it's all gonna sound the same too. But I mean, Joe Strummer said it the best. You know, he's like, one day you just realize the Talking Heads are really cool. You know, like it
Yeah.
wasn't like everyone in that punk rock scene kind of gets very stiff in that sense sometimes too, where it's just like it's not punk. But I'm just like, yeah, but you know, Talking Heads are fucking great. You know, like go enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of my favorite all time records I can listen to at any time. War on Errorism.
oh hell yeah, dude.
Because it's just like it's a really fun album. Some of the stuff is like woo, like the lines that they cross, but that's no effects, right? I'm
Yeah,
a
exactly.
Huge Goldfinger fan. They were like one of my first concerts that I went to. They were actually, it was such a cool concert because it was one of those like moments where my older sister, it was like her first like big sister move, where it didn't involve putting me in the dryer and convincing me it was going to be fun.
Oh my
She
god, that's awesome.
I went with a girl that I knew at the time and my older sister, and it was like the Ska Tracks tour, so like Real Big Fish and Planet Smashers and like all the guys were there, and I was like, it was at a big open venue called the Cool House in Toronto, and like my sister could see I was really bummed that I couldn't see, like I couldn't connect anybody because I couldn't see the stage. So she walked up to one of the bouncers. She's like, "Yo, my brother, he's like really friggin' blind. Can we help him out at all?" And and the dude let me sit on at the side of the stage where all the bands were going on and
Oh,
coming off.
fuck yeah.
So I got to just like see all like my ska idols like coming and going, and like they're giving me like, you know, high five and you know, the what's ups and all that stuff. And so like when you're 12, 13 years old, like that stuff, that was so cool. I felt like, you know, like so appreciated or whatever at that point. What are we gonna do here? So here's how I'm.
You guys are
progressing.
all. This is the
Wow,
first time
that's
ever
sick.
I've been this far behind.
That's so sick.
Damn, that is your line work is clean, man.
Thanks,
That is
dude.
dope. That is dope, Doug. I fucking
Dope, Doug.
dig it. I love it.
Add it to the
I
list.
love it.
What are we gonna do here?
Thanks for like hanging so long too. Fucking art takes so
Oh hell
long.
yeah! What time is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my watch is
Yeah, I
dead.
don't
That's
even
why I'm
know.
still here.
It's 10 here.
No, I'm in it to win it, man. Stuff like this is really cool for time lapse and stuff when you can edit it later.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I used to
Yeah,
do that.
I
I need to
like-
start doing that again.
This is kind of where I'm
I
at.
like it,
just
man.
to give you guys.
This is like, so I talked to Dees Castillas last night, and one of the cool things that like we're both very much of the same school of is like work, like working towards your passion is like a thing that you have to do. Like, you know,
Yeah.
one of my advice, like biggest pieces of like advice to creators or anybody that's chasing a dream is, it's like, you know, don't expect the world to just give it to you. Like that only happens to like 2% of people that are just fortunate and in the right place at the right time. You know, so you have to work to afford the opportunity that you make for yourself. You know, I know it's like, it's annoying to hear someone say you got to still work a 9 to 5, but like you can have fun doing that. You know, like take solace in the fact that like, you know, when everybody else goes home and like, you know, heats up their craft dinner and like, you know, watches shitty television because they're just so unhappy with their lives, like you can bust out your palette, you know, or put your kids to bed and then, you know, get to working on your passion and know that like you're building bricks now so that, you know, tomorrow that house is looking, you know, super sweet while everybody else is still crying over the fact that they hate their you know, neighbors. You know what I mean though? Like,
Yeah, no,
you
100%.
gotta work. Like you have to really enjoy it and you have to embrace it and you have to like be prepared to be, you know, humbled and humiliated a little bit. Not humiliated in a shameful way, but just know that like sometimes you see somebody and you're like, oh dang, they are doing the same thing as me and they're working even harder than I am. Like, how's that possible, you know? But like it happens and it's life. But like mostly it's kind of nice just to be able to be like, you know, oh, I made my comic book. I want to go get it printed. You know, yeah, I got to pay the bills for my family first, but like, you know, I can set some Skrilla aside once in a while, and all of a sudden I've got enough to go get that. Oh, hey, toss some cool gold badges my way. So I'm gonna make sure that like that's a thing that I include. You know, like, so it's just like, but if you work for it and you achieve it, and people see that, you know, like people when they shake your hand, they're like, oh, this guy, you know, he's earned these calluses, you know, like I don't know. I think that there's a lot of character that you get from shaking hands, right? And like it's like that molecular thing where it's like you kind of know when you meet somebody like that these hands know something, you know, like a really good artist. Yeah, let's do that. You know, like really good artists have like really cool kind of like signatures to like their physical interactions with people, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know. That's where I'm at on it, anyways. Is just keep working, like work the coffee shop, work the print shop, work at Walmart, do your night shift wherever you have to, because it's not forever. If you work
Yeah,
hard enough.
That's what I tell
Go
people
ahead.
all the time, especially even at work, dude, where I'm just like, you gotta remember, like, this is the day job. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
have a love and a passion outside of this. This is what I do to fund my cool shit afterwards, because the world
Mhm.
sucks and we gotta do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I'm not passionate about marketing. Like, I just want to fucking make comics and do cool shit and, interact with people like you, because I'm not like at a convention or somewhere cool,
Your
Um,
boss is listening to this. He's just gonna be like, "So what's this about you not being passionate about marketing?"
right?
Brandon?"
Yeah, straight up, dude. For reals. Jim, you're a good guy. I do have a dope boss, like no lie. But anyways, like, but I'm not.
Yeah.
not
Call
into
you
that yet, dude.
backpedaling Stevie over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, that's my day job. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, when people ask what I do, I don't ever say, oh, I'm in marketing. I'm just like, oh, I'm a writer. But my day job, I do this, and
I
I
always
just
say
love
that
my
too.
shit.
Just I'm a writer,
Yeah,
although investigative journalist does sound like a nice job.
Whenever people ask me what I do, I say, "What day of the week is it?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, because
there
then they're
you
just like,
go.
oh, I
That's a
also podcast,
flex.
I do this, I do that. Like, it trips me out when people don't. And I mean, it's some people struggle with it. You know what I mean? But like, find a passion. That's what's gonna make you happy in life. Like, find something to do. Like, I mean, it's not easy for Danny and I to fucking meet up every Thursday and be disciplined and do this shit. Like, we do it out of love. And it takes a lot of energy and time away from stuff. But it's like, well, we'd rather be doing this and showing people some cool shit, and maybe it'll encourage somebody to be like, you know what, I don't know how to draw, but these guys, like, this dude doesn't know how to fucking draw and he's doing it live. Like, that's what
That
I
dude
want.
can't see and he's doing it. Jeez.
Yeah, like, there's no excuse. I mean, yeah, like you said, there are some excuses for sure. You know what I mean? There's definitely some circumstances, but but for the mass majority of things,
Yeah.
you probably don't.
All right, guy. What else should I do on this background? I feel like I'm getting carried away with it.
Do you got any birds in there yet?
It's at night, so there's no birds.
There's bats.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is this? Batman?
Well, you can't. Are bats like specific to just that intellectual property? You
Yeah,
got a
that's a
little
good
jet
point.
up there. You gotta get some jets. Some red eyes. You got any power lines in there?
I'll put the helicopter. I'll put the helicarrier in the background.
You got it. What about you got any power lines? I'm looking for power lines. I don't see any telecom.
Well, he's up on the top. He's up on the building, so that's why I'm just like, if it was street level, I'd put the power lines in.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, you got like a little water tower there. Okay, you got the water tower. Classic. What else you got? Was that do I detect some are those stairs, or is that building by his right elbow? Like beside
right
behind
here?
the windows. Yeah.
These are the staircase.
Okay, I can respect that. What we
Fire
got
escape.
for which
Gargoyle.
city, like what borough is he looking at behind him? Like can you add more Metropolis in there?
This is Hell's Kitchen. So I figure like old brick architecture.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, that's what. So I did the bricks and the gargoyle. Put a spider web in there because Spider-Man and
Yeah, he's always somewhere.
whatnot. Yeah.
Well, you've passed my third degree.
Okay. As long as I have Doug's approval.
I kind of went too dark on one part of this, but I mean, I guess that'll be fine.
Hey, Todd McFarlane would disagree with that.
That's true too.
All right, it's time to ink. I'm gonna have to ink this bad boy.
Oh, this is where I'm at. Let me. I should have switched screens for Danny. I'm so sorry. I was all focused on that. But this is just a little status update.
Let's see. Ooh,
yeah,
there you go.
I like it.
Hell yeah. Now, if you had some white out, you could put some little brow lines in there to just like
Right?
make the,
I meant to leave a spot to make them red too, and I kind of fucked that up.
No, there's still enough spots in there for red.
For brows, yeah, I'm just marking it.
This is I'm prepping my background. I'm going real simple with the cheese whiz.
Nice.
But
I love that muscle
I
on top
love
of muscle
that, dude.
look.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Man,
well,
yeah, every
I'm
week
no
we just try
anatomologist.
to do something different. Like, and that's what's cool. It's challenging, it's hard, it's fucking
I mean, I say this to everybody, which is what Neil Adams said in an interview, is that your style is all your little mistakes that you make. So,
straight up.
yeah, I don't think anything needs to be perfect.
Yeah, oh, there you go. There's the Posca. You got to be able to read backwards, but what the hell? Yeah, again, it's like that style thing comes into play, and it's just like, I don't know, like when people say that I've got a cool style, I always just kind of think like, oh, geez, thank you, you know. But it's like my style is just actively me not, you know, trying to have a style, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
you know, it's just when it's done, if it looks cool, it's good, you know. If it passes another like eye test, then I'm cool with it. Some party
It's one of those
dogs.
things where it's just like you're always just trying to get better with each one, so it's like hard to define it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just trying
Yeah,
to.
man.
The one you do after this one, you want it to be. T'Challa, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Yeah. Just like kicking shit off my
and
desk.
I think that there's it's like working with a tattoo apprentice. There's something valuable in having to reteach certain things that like you do without consciously doing it, you know, like without speaking about it. It was like one of the funniest things about when I was working with my buddy Thor back in the day was like, you know, I'd ask him a question and he would always just kind of stop and like get like this like half a fart face, like, oh man, I haven't had to think about that in so long. Oh, shit. I don't know. I'll get back to you. And he'd get back to me a few days later. It's like, I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, what was the question again? You know?
Yeah.
But
That's fucking dope.
But it is invaluable to Red 46. It's invaluable to be able to, you know, go back through your catalog of life experiences to help somebody learn, right?
Right.
That's why we talk about story so much on the show and like structure and stuff like that. Like the whole point of Apollo in generality is that Brand and I are writers, and we just want to keep studying the craft. You know, just keep analyzing, keep pushing, keep learning, and that's kind of where this show came from too. Was just like, well, I want to fucking study the craft a bit more and get good at it, like, and stay refreshed on it all the time. So might as well just do it a weekly thing. When you get someone involved, like a comic book project. I mean, you did a lot of shit solo, so I mean, fucking kudos to you. But like people depend on it, you know, like how you should respect your day job in like, you know, a capitalism sense. Like that's how we approach our craft. Like people are depending.
That's
on
not how
me
we do
to
things here, Brandon.
Right. It's like people are depending on me to do this, so I need to fucking deliver. And
yeah, I feel that.
But it's cool getting I mean through this, people don't realize like how much like life opens up to you when you kind of discover art too, man. Like how else would you and I have been connected if you weren't doing fucking dope comics?
I'm sure our paths would have crossed at some point, but having that lesser known you know, bypass really helped speed things up. That's kind of one of the coolest things about, you know, falling in line and hanging out with Mark and everybody is that, like, you know, he's done such an incredible job networking the indie community, you know, like our paths crossed just by being on a podcast together, and then it turned into like this very cool thing that we've got going on. You know, and it's just like every once in a while he's like, oh, I just like started talking to like 4 or 5 more artists. They're really cool. They're young, so I think like they'd really benefit from like, you know, shooting the breeze or working with you on some stuff, you know. And it's like, and I think that embracing that attitude of like encouraging every crop of future, you know, ass kicker or like, you know, somebody, even if they're the same age as me, like it doesn't matter, like, you know, or like
someone trying to get out there and fucking make their art, you know, and get their art out there.
And empowering people to just be like, you know, you're doing good. Like, you know, don't shit talk yourself. Like, you know, people that are
that's really why we don't chase like big creators on Apollo. Like, we've had like, a couple names and we could get some people on, but I just haven't reached out to them. I'm interviewing you first before I get like Jim Rugg and shit on. Like, I can fucking
Sick.
email the dude and jump on, but it's like I want to get that indie community out there because I'm gonna be a part of that indie community, like, and I want to show people love so that when I have my shit out, they show me love, and it's all through that same community.
I gotta say this about Jim. He is such an incredibly nice guy. So like I'm part of Next Panel Press is a group of me and my buddies that are all like from that kayfabe ringside seats group. And we do monthly strips. So my strip is called Rad, and it's about like a single superhero daddy
Nice.
trying to save the world and parent a shitty toddler at the same time. So like it's all predicated on the fact that we all listen to kayfabe and really, take what Ed and Jim talk about to heart. But like when I was figuring out how to speak, distribution and stuff, I messaged Jim with like a real simple question that I took my time to format. And like, he hit me back with like this in-depth thing with his best explanation in like, in the time that he took to message me back. But it was like, as close to instantaneous as you would, you wouldn't expect, basically, right? So
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch from somebody that you respect, and I'm excited to see what your interaction with him is like.
Yeah, I met Jim and Ed at fucking in Pittsburgh when Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, man, in Pittsburgh, eh?
Yeah, straight up, dude. Fucking we just like I was like, yo, I was just walked up to him and talked to him both. They were fucking great guys to interact with. And I was like, would you be down to come on our show? And they were both like, I'd love to come talk about comics. And I was like, all right. Fuck yeah. Oh man. Whew.
So, Doug, you have a lot of 90s influence with your art and whatnot.
I guess so, man.
Comics. Do you ever feel like... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you ever think that 90s comic art gets a little too much hate from some people, or...
I mean, it's kind of like 90s tattooing, right? Like, there's a lot of people walking around with dolphins and barbed wire armbands. And at the time, it seemed like it was a good idea. And now it's just a part of your history. So, like, why poop on something that, like, everybody was subscribing to at some point? Like, looking back at hating on things because it was part of history from, like, social like, there's obviously atrocities that happen in history that are inexcusable and stuff. But, like, I think that to condemn, like, a creative period is just kind of short-sighted, right? Because you're going to look at yourself in 2035 and be like, oh my God, the digitization of everything in 2022 was ridiculous. Like, so you can't, I guess you can't really bag on stuff if, it's all cyclical, right? Bell bottoms are back. People talked about how they hated bell bottoms for, so long. And now all of a sudden another crop of girls are wearing bell bottoms. So
Pockets will come back on costumes soon too, just a fucking
Tamagotchis,
warriors.
Pokemon is like always, it's always there, but it's always coming and going from my like perspective, right? Like my son's into Pokemon now, and he's saying stuff that like he's like, oh, here's a Ryu. And like, what would you say? No, you're not supposed to be speaking a language I can't understand. This is I used to do this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what's cool about having kids. It kind of keeps you in close with like how things are kind of changing instead of being stagnant the way you're just like following your general interests.
I've got a Gen Z sister, so she keeps me in the loop with their memes and whatnot. And I got to say, their meme game is definitely better than millennials.
That's hilarious. Coloring is tough. Like coloring takes so much more focus than like other shit because you kind of have to. I suck at drawing between the lines. Like I really do. This marker is interesting. It just like bleeds out really heavy too. I've been experimenting with these new markers I got, so it's definitely an interesting take.
Which ones are you using?
I have no fucking clue. I think they're like called Master Touch or something like that. Yeah, Master's Touch. I got to get
don't
like
know how I
legit
feel
shit.
about that.
Yeah, they're not that great. I kind of hate them actually.
I'm
I
just
took a
talking
picture
about
before this.
the name Master's Touch. I don't know.
Right? Right? Yeah, they fucking bleed like crazy.
I have a buddy that used chameleon pens for. Oh, I think he still uses them. He quite loves them.
And see, this is
Apparently,
something I'll invest in more. Like, we're on week 7 of doing this, and I'm like, all right, once I hit a certain milestone, then I'll be like, all right, I'll get some legit art supplies.
If
But
you
for
want
now,
some cheap but good inking utensils that everybody uses, from the professionals to the amateurs, Pigma Microns.
yeah,
I have
I'm
those.
using the Copic pigment liners for this.
Oh, how are those, the Copic multi-liners?
They are good. They don't.
They're good. Yeah, they're good. They're black. Like they're black, right? Like I don't know. They don't like they don't bleed. Obviously, like they do their job. I got chewed out by my buddy today for using Copic markers because they're not archival. So you do all this work for people, and it's not going to age well. And like not chewed
Why
out.
is that?
Because I guess like they don't have whatever magic power to stay good forever.
Huh.
Is what he was telling me, but I don't know. I don't want Copic to come at me and be like, "Hey, shut up."
I've never seen Copic markers age that badly. Usually it's Sharpies that age pretty badly.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like so far, it's so good. I haven't had anybody come at me and say like, "Redraw this," but I'm still a wet pup in the industry, so we'll see.
Do you ever use zebra brush pens?
No, but I've seen them.
Yeah, those are really good. I love using zebra brush pens.
There used to be a really good art store chain called Curry's in my area. And there's only like 1 or 2 of them left, but there used to be one about an hour away from me that I used to love to frequent, but now I get all my art supplies from Michael's. But they've gotten really good about carrying a lot of stuff that
Nice.
I rely on. What else am I gonna do
It's
here?
gonna be interesting once I start tapping into like art supplies and shit, because like it's just a whole new world of shit to start investing in that sense,
Yeah.
Like I just got some cool colored pencil, some cool colored pencils, some nice like sketching pencils, and I had those micron stuff, but the microns are so old they're drying out on me, so I got these random markers. So I'm kind of learning like, all right, I should really like try to investing on my next like art splurge, because this is fun. I like coloring. I like doing this shit by hand. I like seeing how like certain textures come out and shit like that.
Yeah, when you start working with markers that like alcohol based that like bleed really cool, you start getting like doing these things. You're like, oh, this is like powerful. This is good magic,
Oh, isn't that satisfying when you just start blending stuff and everything starts coming together? Oh,
Yeah, it
so
just
nice.
bleeds real clean.
Yeah.
I like the way you bleed.
Yeah, fucking, I can't wait for shit like that. And that's why I don't get too mad. Like, it's not like this isn't going to turn out how I wanted because of the markers, but it's like, you know what? At least I fucking learned.
Well, I'm going straight primary with this beast, so
I'm just doing black and red straight up. That's it.
I gotta be all complicated and
some
shit here and do the yellow one.
I'm putting yellow into the whole experience here. There you
Ooh,
go.
that's dope. God, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is. That's really cool.
You gotta take a picture
And then
so I can post it.
I think I'm gonna pull some white lines around the foreground of the big hand, like how it's there now, but I might just make it a little cleaner.
Nice.
There you go.
Fuck yeah. Dude, that's gorgeous as hell.
Thanks,
Straight
man.
up.
One of my things is learning how to say thank you. That's a very tough thing. When you start getting we spend all this time to like start drawing attention and like and having people recognize us for what we do. But then like when someone's like, "Hey man, that's really cool," you're like, "Yeah, it's all right." I don't know. Like you're so
Right.
conditioned to like downplay it. But then like there's this thing where it's like, no, they're compliment. Just say thank you. Just say thank you.
Yeah.
Be cool, man. Don't be a wiener. Be a winner. I tell my son that I'm like, you can be three things: a wiener, a winner, or a whiner. It's your choice right now.
Straight up though, honestly, dude, like I'm actually pretty hyped that I got to like pencil, ink, and just like fucking toss some random markers on here.
Getting it done, man. It's important for people to know that you can do it all. You know, like the convenience of working with a great staff is just that like you're able to do more when you can outsource a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But if you don't have time to wait for somebody, to know that like I'll do it, you know, like what the hell, you know, like it's a good thing. Or when you tell somebody I'm gonna do this and they're like, oh yeah, well let's wait and see. And it's like, no, I'm still gonna do it, you know. Like there's no like if you have the power to do something on your own schedule, like or of your own accord, like man, you got to do it, like. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty, bro. It's all good.
It's crazy because I'm actually using like an orange instead of a red because it comes out like as a better red than it does an orange.
Got to try a little tenderness.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the whole fear aspect, you know. Like, and with writing, I've gone that way where you're just fucking too scared to write sometimes, and and that's what I realized is like, oh, it's just a fear. Like once you sit down and do it, like it's fine. Just like getting on a fucking roller coaster or something, you know what I mean? Like it sucks at first for sure, but you're fucking fine. Well, at least it sucked first for me because I wasn't that.
Yeah,
But the roller coaster doesn't tell you your art is or your writing is terrible.
That's true too.
No, that's for the guy who's too scared to tell you.
Yeah, right. He's just like all of you are pussies for screaming. Like that's what it is. Like
yeah.
What's going on?
I think that's something that's cool about this show is that like, you know, as an interview show, you fucking just shoot the shit. And it's like, you know, Apollo, it's like, well, let's talk about this for a little bit and dissect it. But here we're just like, well, I'm trying to fucking do this and talk to you, so let's just figure this out as we go.
Yeah, man, it's a cool format, and I think you're gonna benefit from a lot of different sources by having it be such an accessible wavelength.
We're going to be starting up a newsletter soon too, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a Substack, and then actually, you know, I'm going to be doing we're going to be sponsoring like a punk rock anthology coming out. So we're going to be asking for submissions from people from I think like September or October to December. Or
there
January,
it is.
like that.
There it is, Doug. That's the entire reason you were brought on.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's sweet talking me now?
Yeah, he's sweet talking you.
Well, I mean, I wasn't sweet talking you. I was just putting the idea in your head first.
I know. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, I gotta like plan it there, and then I sweet talk him later.
There you go. Strategy.
Exactly. But yeah, like, you know, that's the cool thing. Like, it's really scary doing all these projects and putting it all into like crowdfunding and shit. But you're like, oh well, fuck, you have so much support, and once you see that support you have, once people start, you know, hearing about it, everyone's like, oh fuck, that's cool. Like, do it. Like, let me know. And it's just like, all right, I fucking will. And dude, look at your success so far. Fucking did wild.
Totally.
In your Kickstarter. And this is just the first
one. I was humbled by like the first 24 hours it was funded, which was sick. And then like having Mark as an ally on this one has been really cool because he's like he prepared me for like the lull, right? He's like, you're gonna get a point where it's gonna all slow down, and you know that's okay because you know then there's like this 24-hour, like the last 24 hours where people get the emails, then they get stoked and they get to see all the work that you've been doing on interviews, and then they back you, right? So I know that all this stuff goes towards, you know, building
everything that I'm working for, right? So that's why I'm enjoying it. Like, you know, working whatever length of a day that I do under whatever circumstances, and then coming home and, you know, like, because my kids are all rambunctious and my one is burning out of summer mode, like, you know, the I have to come in and just kind of like, I crept in because I was home later, and I set up in the garage, so I still haven't seen anybody, but like, you know, it's worth it because the time that I'm taking now to do this kind of stuff is banking it so that, you know, when I start doing the cons and stuff, people are going to be like, oh, it's worth paying $8 for an indie comic because this guy's going to bring his family with him to, you know, Vancouver or Baltimore or whatever. So
I can't wait to see it at con.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I consider myself a people person. The first convention that I did was a blast because it was just like I chose like a smaller market to work so that I could, you know, kind of get all the fear out of the way. And then when I realized that like if you're bored, you can sit there and just draw, and that's more of a draw for people to come say hi to you. Where it's like, you know, I did an art show, and it's like every time I said hi to somebody as they were walking by, I think like, you know, half of the boyfriends that were there just supporting their girlfriends like for art, like they thought I was like just trying to sell them on shit, right? So, you know, the con was kind of cool because it's like I'm here to sell myself in a non, you know, thing kind of way, but you know, but again, it's like everything that I do from a convention sense or like a professional comic book sense, it's like it kind of reinvigorates me to know that like, yeah, man, I'm okay here, you know, like, I was born for it.
Man, these markers fucking suck. Check this out. I mean, I'm like kind of happy with it, but I mean, it's cool experimenting. It's like my fucking.
Hey, not bad at all.
That's sick, man. I like the shadow.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah, cool.
It's tightening up.
Fire. Some fire. Fire.
You talking fire?
Fire.
There used to be a funny tattoo meme of this really like not well executed Jesus portrait, and the hands were all jiggy on it, and it's like, when I'm done, you won't even see those hands. But that's like early memeing. I think that's what Danny was talking about kids memes being better.
That's hilarious. That's very true. I can see that now. How's fire supposed to look? Fire.
Hot.
Fire. We've been at it. We're gonna do a full standard.
Yeah, like how you were saying, like, oh, we're only gonna do this for like, you know, an hour or something.
I was telling Daniel, I was like, this is probably gonna be a shorter episode, like an hour and a half, because typically we go for like 3 hours and
check it out.
2.5 hours. Damn,
that's so sick, man.
Oh wait, let me switch the screen instead of see my stupid big ass face.
Well, let me put it in. There you go.
Man, that's sick. That is dope. I love it.
Top fades out, but I think it's pretty funky. I'm gonna put my little John Henry on there and call it.
I like how you use the oranges and everything to like do the highlights.
Thanks, man.
I thought it was pink, to be honest. I can't.
I love that. I love your sense of humor, man. It's golden fucking having a guest on that where you can kind of just shoot the shit.
Oh yeah.
You know. I gotta say it has been awesome having you on this show. We'll definitely get you on an Apollo episode.
Absolutely.
Because I really want you to talk to Brandon about, I guess, your love for those fucking Blink albums I can't stand. So listen to that and like.
There.
I don't know,
I'll put up the picture when it's later, but that's the signature and everything on there.
Dude, you have a dope signature. Well, I mean, before we wrap this up,
that's a nice signature. Yeah.
How did you format your signature? Just come organically, like you just fucking.
So it's kind of a funny evolution thing because it's like, whenever I used to sign the back of my bank cards, like I've been with the same banking institution since I was 12, and so like I used to go back periodically, and they try to authenticate me based off of my signature, and because it was always changing, So I still kind of tweak out my K and stuff like that, but I just go like something that looks like I put a little bit of effort into it, and then the rest is like the doctor mode kicks in. So I make sure that because DK are recognizable, you see the D, you see the K, and then you see after it. But then I also I work my Braille initials into all my signatures. And so
That's sick. That's sick.
So there's the 5 dots. So if ever you see that, and you wonder what the deal is with that, not that it's a big mystery, but the 5 dots are DK in Braille. But technically it's lowercase because there's no capital indicator, but people get it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude,
so that's it. So it's been an absolute pleasure.
It has been amazing having you on, Doug. And thanks for hanging, dude. I know you got to get to your family and do all your adult stuff. But I mean, I backed your Kickstarter. I might talk to you about that Daredevil thing too, so I'm pretty hyped about that.
Sounds good.
But hey, guys, we fucking all kicked ass and we all drew some Daredevil stuff. And I was even
it was very cool.
We did for the first time ever. Somebody beat me.
Yeah, but Danny, I mean, I love yours, Danny. That's
beautiful.
Fucking sick.
Thank you.
Yes.
You guys all I love the colors on yours, Doug. That's really good.
Thanks, man.
I always love the outcome from what we were just saying, the styles between everybody. Like me and Danny's, our styles, the way they come out organically are just so totally different. It's one of those things it's cool as hell. And I love seeing your style, Doug. I can't wait for the book. I really can't. I'm super hyped about that. I might just go to Mark's and pick it up. Oh no, it gets sent out. He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'll add it. Is it going to be on? Do you have it listed on League of Comic? I think it's. Let me see here. It's what I use to keep track of my comics.
Oh,
I do not.
League of
I haven't jumped on any registries yet. It's on my list of responsibilities that I need to follow up with.
Man, I didn't even think about that with the comic. And you know what, Doug? I do have a project that's coming to life that's going to be associated with some stuff, and I will hit you up if you might want to do a variant or something on it. So
of course,
that'd be
man.
fun to connect with you. And go. I mean, everyone who's watching this, the link to his Kickstarter is in the description. So go snag some cool stuff. Go snag up this variant cover. Maybe you'll get lucky.
And if you don't just want my book, remember that there's access to the lesser known comics library through my Kickstarter as well. So you get to see what good friends doing cool things together can look like.
Yes, exactly. But with that said, this is one final look at mine as I color in that fire. Pretty sweet. There you go.
Fantastic. It's good, man.
Very cool. Like I said, every time you get better, Brandon.
Thanks, man. I
oh yeah.
It.
I think that was me. I hit the Siri button while you were talking.
No worries. Well, Doug, pleasure hanging with you. I will tag you like crazy, and we'll hear from us more.
That's awesome, guys. Lots of fun. You both have a fantastic night.
You too, man.